That's why I'm late. That's why I'm late. I will admit it. That's why I'm late. This is now going to be the centerpiece of my thing here. Just give me a second while I just sort this out. We're gonna whoa. Just gonna do this. That's good. Just bring this down like this. Just below the there we go. That's better. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, welcome to my stream, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we introduce to you Big Dons. If you guys ain't heard of Big Dons, you ain't heard of Perth, Western Australia. Let me tell you that. We got the traditional American barbecue done better than America itself over here. Holy crap, was this an experience and a half. Whew. What a time To be like, you don't know. You don't get delivered to. This is not a delivery service. No, sir. This is you come and you enjoy. So we got in the top corner, we got brisket, right? Then in the bottom left corner, we got the birria tacos. Then we got the cornbread over in the left bit. Then we got the sausage. Let's just say some F-bombs were dropped because it was that fucking good. Now, I knew it was this is not my first time having this barbecue, but it's my first time in many, many years. Oh my fucking God. I will drop another F-bomb. I still have it. I still have it, the taste in my mouth. This was a sight to behold, a feeling to misbelieve, to unbelieve, to a feeling that you cannot believe. It was something, that's for sure. Yeah, I played, I worked for it. But put all this work in to lose weight and get in shape, and then I go and eat this. That's what happened today. That was my day. Basically. Not really, but it was. Yeah. What's going on, everyone? My name is Boit. I like to play Age Mythology from time to time. I mostly cast it nowadays because I'm old, slow, and I don't like losing. So we're going to start off with a casted game. I don't know what we're going to cast just yet, but let me just have a little quick look-see. I've heard, and I could be wrong, I've heard that we've seen a lot more ladder going on recently. And there is a game I would like to check out. Let's see which one it's going to be. Do we watch the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. K. Voth, this 22nd, going at it against Lordy, against Killuminati. Oh! Please don't out of sync. 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 Come on, work with me, guys. Work with me. This is about to be the game of the fucking year. This is about to be the game of the fucking year. If you guys haven't seen this, you guys won't understand. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, assorted members of the jury, we are about to behold Age of Mythology in its purest form. This is two of the literal best players playing the game at the moment. Not only are they two of the best players playing the game at the moment, they are two training buddies. They practice together. They know each other's play styles like the back of their hand. And do you know what that means? That means when they do actually match up and they do actually play a video game together, it ends up being absolutely ridiculous. So, before we introduce these two players, now I'm sure you can read, but let me just get rid of it so you can't see it. Before we introduce, we've had a minute of you guys watching their names, but before we introduce these players, go to your fridge, pull out the tastiest beverage you possibly can. Go to your cupboard, your pantry, your place of food storage, of snack storage, and pull out the tastiest snack you currently have. Come back, sit down, because we're going to be here for a while. We're going to be here for a while. In the top side of the map, playing as Ra, his name is Mosca. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Gaia. His name is Tunison. We are on the map Key. Everyone's favorite map. I haven't heard one single player complain about this map ever. Just kidding. Everyone loves to complain about a lot of different things, but I love Key myself. There's a lot of really cool early game ideas on Key because of the way the map spawns in terms of herdable placement and in terms of relics. So for example, I'll give you one that's doesn't really have much impact on this specific game, but say you're playing as Loki. I've seen Soup do this and I think it's really cute. It only really works on a map where you know where all the hurdles are, but he'll start the game off and he'll build like 2 or 3 extra ox carts. He'll send those forward and he'll go and grab all the goats, or as many goats as he possibly can, right? Now, the next step here is there's other ways you can play this where you actually rush for an early temple and then you actually rush out early oracle heroes and you grab all the relics in the middle. Or on the contrary, you rush out your own temple as Ra. You can do this very simply. You put 3 villages to gold. Everyone else goes over to food. And then you can get yourself Hands of the Pharaoh as soon as possible. There's so many different ways to go about this. You can do this and it's really fun. So we'll go over the relics. Adamantine Shingles is always nice with the plus 200 hit points. We've got the Atlatl of Ehekatl. That's they did that on purpose just to screw with me, I think. What does this actually do? This is your ranged soldiers, towers, and fortresses getting a little bit more, and Townsend is getting a little bit more damage or a little bit faster shooting speed, more DPS. But there's a Fenrir over there with some boosting of the villages. And we got Bone Shards of Mictlan, which does give 2 favor back upon losing a myth unit. Very nice. Love it. Alrighty, so we're going to be seeing some Ptah and we're going to be seeing some Oceanus. Now, it does make sense to go Ptah versus Gaia to some degree. Though, I don't mind a Bast here or there versus Gaia. I mean, everyone's scared of the Atlantean heroes, as you should be. But there's a big weakness to having to make heroes. And that weakness is, well, you have to make them earlier than you want to make them, which means you might not be having access to your cheaper hero upgrade for the Murmillos. Your opponent might be playing around said hero infantry by making axemen. There's some ideas there as Moskos decides to do the absolute craziest thing he possibly can, which is grab a second town center. He does have back hunt here, so that's really, really nice. But you got to remember, he's playing versus another player who wants to go fast second town center. I was going to say he's playing against one of the most crazy people in the entire world who loves to attack, but that's not what's going to happen here. We're going to see Tunison and Mosca both handshake agreeing to a fast 2 town center battle. Now, I like this. A lot of people have got their own issues with the old fast second town center and the games that they can actually, well, that actually end up happening when you go for the fast second town center. But here's the thing. I like everything about Age of Mythology. I like 1 town center games where both players are attacking each other and attacking and defending the entirety of the game. I like 1 town center versus 2 town center games where the 1 town center player goes full raids and throws everything at their opponent, trying to pick off villages and trying to make their life a nightmare before they end up getting the win. I love it when the other player tries to do those raids, fails and loses. I love it when the 1 town center player tries to go for a fast heroic and then tries to get a big tech advantage and then destroy their opponent. And I like it when people go 2TC. You know, there's no, it's all good. It's all yum. It's all fantastic. It's all happening here. So the next question though is, what are we going to see out of these players? Because, well, we've got a barracks coming up for Moscow. So he wants to build some units here, which I think he should. It's a very, very dangerous thing on a map like Key, ignoring the fact that you need to actually build units and going straight to the heroic age and then trying to secure this gold mine. Because this is what's important here now for the 2 town center of Moscow. On the other side here, for Tunison, well, he doesn't need to worry as much because he's got Thea, and Thea's got access to the Dryad, and that can help you get through those difficult situations and help you get onto your second gold mine. But if he doesn't build anything, and Mosca just wanders forward and starts harassing, then these villages out in the middle of nowhere here are going to be under pressure. And, well, Tunis is going to have a little bit of a difficult time here. Now, of course, Mosca needs to actually know that that's happening. He's built 3 axemen as like a just in case. This almost seems pre-planned to some degree, because I don't think he's scouted what he hasn't scouted what Tunison's doing. It's pre-planned to get these out, because he's just like, well, what can Tunison do here? Well, he can either spam out infantry units and try and prevent me from getting my gold mine when I hit the heroic age, or he can go for a fast heroic and then he can go into Contarius. If he does that, when it's a little bit slower, we can sit back and wait, and it can be perfectly fine and reasonable to go for that. As the Caladria here, is that going to go down? That's wild. Why can't that happen when I play? Why doesn't that happen when I play? Whenever I play, it's like my opponent is like the most elite Caladria micro in the absolute world. Like, they just like, brrr, brrr, and I'm just like, dude, I can't. I've got ballistics on my priest, but I still can't hit your bloody Caladria because you just keep on moving it. And then Tunison just goes ahead and just loses it to a Wadjet. It is what it is. An armory coming up for Tunison now, so he is going to be hitting the heroic age really soon. And I love this as well. This is something you can definitely add to your arsenal. And it's literally just walls, but it's specific walls. If you ever find yourself, and I know this doesn't happen very much for the lower level players, people don't like playing 2 town center because it's scary and it's difficult down in the depths of 1600. Just kidding. Just kidding. You 1600 players, you're really good at the game. But if you do end up in a 2TC versus 2TC situation, you get a little bit extra time. A little bit of extra time. So set your walls up, be out on your second gold mine super early, and that'll save you a lot of problems in your game. As the way that Mosk has done it is he built units. And that's fine. This is another angle. He built some units, but these units might not have any serious serious value here in this game. Whereas these walls are forever going to have value. They protect his base, they protect his gold mine first and foremost, but they also protect his base from camel rider raids, and this base as well. And he's going to finish this off. I love this from Tunison. Very defensive, very nice, but Mosca here has been allowed to get himself his Migdos stronghold. He's on his second gold mine. This is not going to be getting caught. And we've got the biggest handshake agreement in the history of handshake agreements in terms of we're watching ourselves a 10-minute treaty game. That Caladria did step out of line, so it doesn't count that that one got attacked and died, but still, that's the way the cookie crumbles. As Tunison now, he's now hit the heroic gauge. He's getting himself a very interesting upgrade here, Weightless Mace, which is effectively predicting that Mosca is going to go into Camel Rider, of which he is, and he might go into those catapulties a little bit later, but there's not really any rush in it. He does pre-queue out J Atlas here. We've got the Streamer Gods package going on, so we get to enjoy John Arbiter as Atlas, which is hilarious. But yeah, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a slower approach here. Now, the important thing for Mosca, and the reason why he builds units out and he's moving forward, is he's trying to secure more gold mines. The hardest part about playing Egyptian versus Atlantean is the fact that you're generally behind your opponent. Generally. In terms of military, in terms of economy, in terms of something going on. So at the moment, well, Mosca is in front on military, but resource-wise, there's heaps of resources in the bank for Tunison. It's mostly tech at the moment that Tunison is in front of. He's already got Shaft Mine. He's already got himself his upgrade for his Contarius and also his counter barracks and all that other good stuff. So he's going to catch up to some degree. He's making some units, but he is angling up for this J Atlas. I don't know if I particularly actually like the J Atlas angle here. I think Hecate is maybe a little bit more solid, just on the fact that we get access to the Lampedes. Atlas doesn't really help us out with anything. We don't really want to build any Fanatics. Yes, we might want to build Destroyers in this matchup. Destroyer Arcus is a composition which is very difficult for Egyptians to deal with, but I don't believe it's difficult to deal with because of the high pierce armor of the Destroyer. It's actually because the Destroyers can micro back away from Axemen, Archers can snipe the Axemen, and then the Destroyers can push in and kill off whatever buildings they need to kill off. So I don't think you need that, what's it called, Titan Shield there to actually have those advantages. You can be fine going Hecate, and then Hecate can help out your Hesperid's tree, so your Dryads get stronger with the upgrade. But anyways, we're seeing this from Tunison. I'm complaining because that's what I want to do. And yeah, we are actually going to be seeing both players going for the fast Mythic. Now, this is, again, something that I really enjoy. Both players are making what I would call very reasonable and respectful decisions. They've both decided that they don't want to attack each other. And they've both decided, well, if we're not going to fight, we better spend our resources on the most efficient thing, which is Osiris and is, well, it's the Mythic Age. It's J Atlas and Osiris in this game, but getting to that Mythic Age. And this is, again, perfectly straight down the line decision-making when you are a defensive reactive player. Becoming a defensive reactive player, effectively, the important part of it, through and through, the important part, how do I put this, is that you have to understand when you need to go tech and when you need to not go tech and slam into your opponent. That's the hard part of playing a reactive game, right? Moscow now is looking for some raids. All the palaces are already up. The map is slowly starting to get chewed up here with the Gaia Lush, this citizen going to be running away. It is at 4.4 speed. He's got channels, so it's a super speedy Deuterino there as the Mythic Age has hit for Tunison. Now, the question here is, how fast, when should, and all the other good stuff, when should he actually attack? If he doesn't attack soon, then Osiris is going to be in, Son of Osiris is through, and then for, I don't know how long, but for the period that Son of Osiris is out, the Dryads will lose all their effectiveness. But then again, the Dryads aren't that much of an important game plan here for Tunison anyways. Moscow has gotten to the Mythic Age, and Tunison is slowly starting to creep into his base with Gaia Lush. As Moscow sees this army, the fact of the matter is these Axemen are not going to be doing anything here, as Implode will kill them off. Not sure if... Wait, do they go up above? They do go up above 100 HP, so they'll have 6 HP if they don't take any damage before the actual Implode comes down. So that's an interesting idea as another Town Center coming up onto this side for Moscow. He feels like, well, he's got himself the population. I was saying there for... I was saying there that Tunison as the Atlantean would be having more stuff than Moscow, but this game here has gone a very, very different way, and it actually feels like Moscow has got more stuff than Tunison in this specific game. We've got a massive boom off, and it's literally dead equal at the end of it. So let's just go out there and say, as the Implode comes down, if you guys think the economic balance in this game is off, just remind yourself to look at this game. You've got two economic powerhouses. They're both smack equal at this point. Of course, Implode comes down. Whole bunch of units get sent flying. Most of the Axemen are now dead or on 6 HP. Son of Osiris is somewhere. Oh, poor Son of Osiris has been blocked in. Shifting Sands needs to be dropped. He does get pulled back over onto this side. We also see the Locust Swarm coming down, and Tunison says, no, I don't want to deal with that. Let me get out of here. No worries. As a little bit of healing shenanigans can come through, can get everyone back up to full HP. This Catapultes does go down. That's wild that the Son of Osiris was stuck in there, but even more wild that Moscow had a counterplay there as well, as it's 3 town centers apiece now. It's 3 town centers apiece. It's 100 villages for Tunison, so Moscow will catch up very, very shortly on the remainder of those villages. He's going for mummies as well here. I'm always a fan of myth units, but I would have dropped a rain here rather than that second mummy. And then we just go into all mummies after that. There's no sense in going for the mummies before you drop that second rain, because that second rain is only 30 favor, and it's worth, at the moment from memory, Wait. It's worth 36 times, I believe, approximately 30. I can't remember the number, but I'm going to go ahead and call it about 35 food per villager. So 36 times 35. So I can't do that math in my head. It's a ton of resources. So yeah, you want to drop that second rain for sure once you've got all your farm set up, and then into the mummies and enjoy. But nonetheless, I would also like to see the monument to the gods or pharaohs coming down, a monument to the gods as well, but beggars can't be choosers. At least I'm seeing some favor being actually spent. The worst thing you could possibly do in a game of Age of Mythology is not spend your favor. I'm not looking at anyone. Mr. 125 favor for a Hesperid's tree, which would be well worth spending. Nonetheless, Camel Riders do spot some citizens over here, getting a couple of kills as we do have a Carnivora getting dropped down, and the citizens will finish up on this castle, palace, and garrison inn and get over here. We do have the majority of this corner here protected up, but Tunison now does go into his heavy archers. He's going to get those in, and they are an amazing answer to not only the Axemen, but also the Son of Osiris. That being said, the mummies are a fantastic unit to get in here and drop on this ball. I would even sacrifice the mummies to actually get a really nice vomit of damage onto that ball there, and that's sort of what Mosca does as he pulls back. He loses one, but he did get the ball of damage off, but he does have to pull back. A little bit of miss micro to not get any value there, but nonetheless, he is going to be able to defend himself and continue along in this. Look at the food in the bank. I don't want to tell anyone how to play, but if you got that much food in the bank, it might be worth it to build elephant. Right now, champion elephants, even though you have yourself Sobek and Osiris for super camel riders, still makes sense as Ra in this specific position because look at the army comp. Elephants just tank everything. They're actually better than the Contarius. In terms of pop. I could be wrong on that actually, but they are really, really good against the Arcus as well, whereas the Camel Riders tend to be a little bit lackluster versus them. That being said, what are you doing? 14.4 times 1.25. Something like an extra 3-ish damage. I don't know. Anyways. Tunison is struggling to keep himself at population here. He hasn't quite started a trade route just yet either, but he has managed to secure this top gold mine as well. And that's actually a really big deal here because Mosca, he's got 2 gold mines, and he doesn't have he technically has a corner here. It's not bad, but he doesn't have an actual corner. Whereas Tunison does. Now, Tunison has put all the effort into doing this, right? But he needs to get over here and wall this off as fast as he humanly can. This is probably more important than focusing even in onto this position in this matchup. Both players, they're not going to die anytime soon. Trying to finish the game now does not make sense. You're playing for a later portion in this game without question, and later portion means securing the map even more so. Tunison's been securing his side of the map really, really well as he takes down the town center, but he is going to be dropping military here very, very quickly. So yeah, he killed the town center, but he lost military. So it's basically equal in the trades, if you're asking me. Now, Tunison's game plan here, he does have 9 oracles out, and he's not spending a lick of favor. His game plan here might be to drop a second implode, which sounds well and good in theory, but the problem is for the past, I want to say, the past 5-6 minutes, Tunison's been playing behind on population. And this is why he's not actually making any ground, because he's not spending the favor. He's not building myth units. Of course, there's a Son of Osiris here, but still, you can actually stay out of range of the Son of Osiris with Stymphalian birds, for example. It's not hard for a top-level player like Tunison. Or he could just be waiting for the death of the Son of Osiris and then go into, say, Mass Argus or something like that. But I think more than likely he's going to be just dropping another implode onto this army. And I guess that's fine. I guess. But nonetheless, Markets are up. I want to see the stuff all sorted out. We do have destroyers in the main base. Now, this is always going to be nice versus Egyptian because it's very, very tough to beat destroyers when they are, or even just siege weapons, but destroyers even more so when they're split off from the army. You have to either train the axemen out of your barracks and just hope you get population, of which you're losing your houses, so you don't have population. But nonetheless, the monument to the priest, or the monument's going to be getting taken down. We see a monument to the soldiers actually going back up as Tunison trying to finish off even more of those monuments here. The axemen are going to get some pretty decent damage done for the time being, but 3 monument kills there for all those destroyers. I don't think that's worth it in terms of a resource trade, but it does hurt Moscow quite a bit. But Moscow is making ground on the front. And if you look at the resources, Moscow is struggling on the gold without... He's going for the market here. Oh, those camel caravans need to be going to this town center, though. He's not going to notice that. It's very easy to fix it in Retold. I remember Legacy was the most painful thing. Whenever your trade route was, like, disrupted, you would have to, like, go in and individually kind of, like, double-click on every little area of the camel caravans, and then, or the caravans, and then you'd have to redo it. But in Retold, you can just go... Give me all the caravans with select all of the same unit and then right click. I remember I would actually go in, if it ever happened to me while I was doing it, I would go in and I would put them all onto a control group 9 just because it was, yeah, it was a good time. Nonetheless, Axeman, Camel Rider still trying to push forward as Moscow going to be setting up a Migdol stronghold over here. But still, oh, there goes the implode. So after all is said and done, I'm going to go ahead and say that probably took Tunison around about, let's just lock in 12 minutes. No, let's go for more than that. Let's go 14 minutes of being down 9 population to get that done. You think he's happy with that result? Anybody? No. He's not happy. That's not a good usage of favor. I'm just sorry. It's not. It's lazy. Spend your resources. Smack. And of course, Tunison here is not really building the Dryads, but has the Son of Osiris been killed? Yes, the Son of Osiris has been killed now, so I guess Dryads will start to come through. Of course, the hardest part about this for Tunison is that his economy is a little bit in struggle town. He's missing a house, I believe, as well. Unless he's already built it. But no, he's got all his houses. Did he lose a town center? No. No, he's back to houses. Okay. But normally you're struggling on resources with Atlantean. So it's hard to spend on those Dryads and keep your population at 235. But once you get your llama caravans out in any significant mass, there's 19 of them, so it's up to 20. Now all of a sudden we're starting to float resources. Now all of a sudden we're able to afford to get ourselves those Dryads out, and that's going to be a really big turning point now in this game for Tunison. As he's trying to push forward, the fighting is literally at a standstill. It's a big block in the game. Moscow should take this opportunity to secure this corner and then rejig his trade route. He actually has noticed his trade route was acting funny and he's restarted it, which is nice. And Tunison pulls back. He does have the walls up over here as the Camel Riders are coming through. Not getting stone walls at this point in the game can only be classed as a mistake here. You should not be allowing Camel Riders to just beat through champion Camel Riders, fully upgraded iron weapons Camel Riders to be able to beat through your walls and get in onto your trade route. That is not going to be a good recipe in this game. This also needs walls, but still he should have himself the stone walls. It's not in yet. Nonetheless, doesn't matter. More Migdols coming up on the front as Moscow is going to be continuing his slow push. But the one thing here that I'm not fully comprehending from the side of Tunison is, where are the weightless mace catapultes? I love Arcus as much as the next person. I think they're an absolutely insanely strong unit. They're really, really good, especially in the hands of a talented Gaia player who's got the Gaia Lush, 4.6 speed, 20 range. That's amazing. But Camel Riders are a counter unit. They might not be the best counter archer unit in the game, but they are a counter unit to archers. So you do need to make sure you're building a unit that also equally counters the camel riders. You could also go into fanatics, which are perfectly reasonable, and now we see the catapulties. Fine. But Tunison is losing a lot of ground in this game. He's still going for the main base up here. Mosca is reacting beautifully as the Axemen come through. However, Titan Gate time for Tunison. I'm feeling like I should flip these guys. We've got ourselves a left side of the map and a right side of the map. I haven't done this before. I never do this but I'm getting confused because I'm looking left and right. You're probably getting confused as well. So we do a flip. Gaia on the right side, Ra on the left side. That makes more sense. The main base is now here. That's the main base. All right, catapult's going to be breaking through, but now the infantry units are out. They're going to be able to take down the catapults. Might lose the castle. Probably not, actually. Catapults going down. We do have ourselves Secret of the Titans coming through from Mosca as an attempt here to deal with all this. A Carnivora does come through onto this side. Going to be attempting to deny the stone walls. If you can deny the stone walls here from Tunison, he probably should walk forward and look to just make these, basically wall this off here, just to make this not a relevant wall. And then he has to rebuild the wall all over again, or he has to kill off the wall that Tunison places down. And basically at the very highest levels of the late game, you should be seeing a lot of that kind of walling on top of each other type dealio. As well, yeah, the big question is going to be, no, it's not a big question. Tunison will be finishing his Titan. Mosca will be finishing his Titan a little bit later than Tunison, but it's not going to matter. Generally speaking, if it's somewhere in between 30 to 40 seconds of your opponent's Titan, the worst that's going to happen is you might lose a town center, but your own Titan is going to come through, win the fight, and then trade itself with the remaining HP to actually build your town center back up. Nonetheless, now we got the mercenary cavalry coming through. These guys are the extra, if you've got the resources for it, which it seems like Mosca has. I don't actually think he does have the resources to be making mercenary cavalry here. With the food, he's only got 12 villagers on food. But anyways, this is like another really cool thing about the Egyptians late game, which you generally don't get to see this unit in a game. But once you get to full population and you get to the 60 caravans, so I'm still hating on the fact that there's not a market in this corner here from Mosca. I can't accept that, but it allows you to do your 235 pop and then spam out mercenary cav. Nonetheless, Chariot Archers coming through, Axemen on the back, getting picked off very quickly. I'm surprised to see the Chariot Archers here, to be honest. At this point in the game, the only thing you're really going to be looking to kill with the Chariot Archers are going to be Fanatics and Axemen. And I guess you could try and take out the Arcus on the other side as well. That makes sense to some degree. But why wouldn't we just build Axemen Elephant at this point? Anyways, more Migdol strongholds coming up for Mosca. But the defense is in from Tunison. These guys are at a pretty hardcore standstill. And this is the wild thing about... Oh, relics popping out here. Is there anything of use here? Yes. This is a big relic here for the actual DPS for the towers. The other two aren't hugely important for the late game. But this is the big thing about Gaia versus basically anyone. A lot of people like to say that the Atlanteans' late game is weak, but when they say the Atlanteans' late game is weak, they actually mean Kronos and Oranos' late game is weak. But even then, like, Oranos doesn't have a weak late game. Kronos has a slightly weak late game. But, yeah. Gaia's late game is stonking on the fact that these llama caravans are moving at 5.2 speed. That is the reason why, and also Gaia has Thea. That is the reason why Gaia's late game is like able to compete. And yes, at the moment Tunison is losing ground, but sooner or later he is going to get up to another charge of Hesperus Tree, and he's going to be able to stick everyone onto wood, and he's going to be able to pump these dryads out, and it's going to be a huge, huge assistance for him to start pushing back here. I have a couple more mummies coming through for Mosca. Oscar has dropped a couple more rains down. He's up to 20, nearly 3,000 food. His economy is absolutely stonking for the time being. We have palaces coming down on the top as well from Tunison, so he's trying to push back on the top while he's getting pushed in on the bottom, which is always smart. If someone attacks you on one side, try and put pressure on the other side. You know, when you're playing chess and your opponent makes an attack on the right side of the board, you can kind of get away with maybe sneaking an attack on the left side of the board. But anyways, Titan on Titan action right now, as there is really no good way to do this apart from just smack your opponent. Tunison, technically speaking here, does have healing on top of the Guy Lush. So he should be able to... It takes so long for him to heal, though. Great micro, though, from Mosca. He gets another free hit off. That's 3 free hits. And you might be like, 3 free hits, that's not that much, is it? Well, when the Titan has got 20x bonus versus Titans, yeah, it's quite a bit of damage. It is quite a bit of damage. So now, Tunison is actually making his life even harder for himself. He's going to try and deal with this with a whole bunch of heroes, of which he has managed to do. And Mosca actually says, you know what? I'm going to bail from this. He's taking a huge amount of damage on the retreat. The Titan for Tunison does actually have the speed advantage because it's snared, or the enemy Titan is getting snared. So he chases back up, and wildly, absolutely wildly, we end up seeing a situation where the Titan that was losing ends up winning because somebody missed-microed very, very hard. He just had to leave it there. I say missed-microed, but he decided he wanted to fidget with the Titan instead of just leaving it there. Never run. Just don't. It's much easier. Just sit there, smack away, and just make sure that it keeps smacking. Don't not smack. Only smack. And if your opponent runs, you either want to chase or you don't want to chase. Lol. Anyways, the Titan here for Tunison is effectively just a massive siege weapon now with 3,500 HP. Dealing off as many of these buildings as he possibly can is going to be very, very important. More palaces coming down for Tunison. And wildly enough, I feel like we're now in a stalemate. Like, generally the Titan fight, like I said that it normally doesn't do anything, but normally someone ends up running out of resources somewhere in that sort of situation. Both players have got resources. They're both at full pot. A whole bunch of elephants coming through. Now, these elephants... I was like 95% sure that this gives melee area of effect damage. It does. Doesn't show up on the stat panel, but these war elephants do a little bit of area of effect damage. It does have fall off, but like if this guy here is attacking and there's another guy next to it, and this guy is going to get a little bit of damage done onto the other guy. It's mostly for trying to help take out the archer balls, but it can have some effect on other stuff there as well. And the simplest way to beat elephants is to make catapulties. Catapulties were the best answer versus elephants for the longest time, but now I think Yeti Spearmen and the Tlamani Spearmen from the Aztecs are actually doing the best versus the elephant at the moment, but nonetheless, it's still plenty good. You can still deal with these bad boys, but there's still more buildings dying, and Tunison, while I consider this a stalemate, I feel like he is losing ground in this game. More towers coming up from Mosca. Like, it's been so long since I've seen a game played like this. This used to be like the absolute standard that we watched in like it was probably like 5 out of 10 games or something like sort of resulted in this in Legacy. But this is a rare game. As more walls coming up, they are still only stone walls. You can go up to, wait, can you not? Or is he? Oh, he is. You can go up to fortified walls here, which puts them up even more HP, 1,800. Of course, Tunison has bronze walls, which is also basically the same thing. And then you've also got citadel walls as well here for the Egyptians. So you get ballistic towers, you get your super walls, and these towers are going to be a very, very difficult thing for... Like, basically everything's just going to be a very, very difficult thing for both players to actually push through. There's just so much stuff here, and neither player at this point is like, oh, I'm just going to resign here. No, they're going to keep fighting it out. and just small amounts of incremental space to get grabbed. Whether you come into the center here or not, this is another actually really important part of this game, because one player has got, I wouldn't call it infinite wood, but 30 favor for, I think it's 2,000 wood, which is quite a lot. And then it goes to 40 favor, and then goes to 50 favor, but he's got quite a lot of wood that he can actually get out of his god power. And there's also wood all over the map that he can still chop down, but still he's got quite a lot of wood for himself. As this position here does end up getting pushed back, elephants are popping out. The villager situation, doesn't have the resources to really consider deleting villagers, but he's at 77 at the moment, and he is just manually training them. So he's not on auto queue. He has a very specific amount of villagers that he wants, I guess, or he just wants to make sure that he doesn't go straight back up to 100 villagers. That makes sense. 100 villagers here for the Egyptians doesn't really make a huge amount of sense, and obviously for Tunison, he does need that amount. He's got a lot of gold though. At the moment, buying food and wood a little bit on the pricey side. It's funny how that works as we shift through the game. In the early stages of the game, oftentimes the gold is very, very valuable. It's like you're trading like 20 wood for 100 gold, but in the late game it flips, and you get the food and wood becoming very, very, very pricey, because that's the more important resource on the fact that we have these super trade caravans. Both players have actually got literally super trade caravans here. Like this one, you might be like, oh, it's only moving at 4.6 speed. The Tunison's trade caravan is moving faster, but he's got a pharaoh empowering it, so each one of these caravans is getting an extra 20% drop off, which ends up being not nothing. In fact, it ends up being 20% as another rain comes down. Okay, that rain, I'm sorry, that rain was too expensive. I will go up to 60 favor. I'm not going any further than 60 favor for a rain. Like, I'll pay 45 if I really need to. I ain't paying 60. I'm not paying 60. Get me Petsukos. I'm building Petsukos here. Without question, I'm building Petsukos here. If my opponent wants to start spamming out heroes, let him. Heroes are expensive. They're more expensive than my Petsukos. My Petsukos are free. They're 200 gold. They're not free, but they're 200 gold. And they're really good versus human units. Anyways, is what it is. Yeah, we need some more vertical walls. Vertical walls are the best. Perpendicular walls is the actual correct term there, Mr. DoD Golden Royal. Come on. You got Citadel walls now coming through for Moscow, which obviously puts his walls up to nigh unbreakable status. Plus 100% hit points for the walls. Of course, that's off of the base rate there, so I think it's plus 600 or 700 or something. But that's always nice. Actually, plus 500, excuse me, because wooden walls are 500 wood. Anyways, Citadel walls are up. We do also have the iron walls through for Tunisia. Who has the stronger walls? 2.5, 2.0, 2.300. Wait, does Moscow have all these upgrades? Yes. Tunisia doesn't even have architects? What are you doing, Tunisia? Please explain. How do you not have architects? And there's still orichalcum walls to get grabbed here from Tunisia. This is why his buildings are falling. At the end of this game, Tunisia's probably going to be like, Egyptian siege is broken. And I'm like, dude, you didn't get architects. Like, this technology is a must grab. We see people getting this technology as fast as like 16 minutes into a game sometimes. But yeah, absolutely insane to not have that one there. And now we see the third Hesperids tree finally. What does a third Hesperids tree mean? It means you get 15 dryads. Now, this is my own personal assignment to the dryad. This is not the game developers or anything. This is just what my personal value of the dryad is. Because it doesn't cost any population. It's part of the god power. I think the dryad is worth about 3 population. So if I've got 15 of these guys, that's like I've got plus 45 pop. Now, let's just be generous and say let's just play devil's advocate and just say I'm being overly generous to the value that a dryad brings. And let's just call it a 2 population Mythic. Still plus 30 population. That's still more than 3 Citadel centers worth of population. That's a good thing. We should be making Dryads. And in fact, could you imagine here if instead of going for a second implode, of which was not needed, Tunison had 4 Hesperid trees right now. Potentially a 5th Hesperid tree. Now we're not looking at 15, we're looking at 20, we're looking at 25 Dryads. That's a different story. But we'll see if this is going to be enough to level the playing field, so to speak, in this game. Meanwhile, we are seeing the favor starting to shoot up. There is a world here where another cast of Son of Osiris is value, but nothing is more value to me than just having out some Petsukos here. Because the other thing is, if I was building Petsukos, then Tunison wouldn't have any favor to drop himself extra Hesperid trees. See? It all swings around, you know? Everything costs. I spend resources on favor on my myth units. You spend favor on your heroes, and I win the game. Because you didn't build the myth units. You were playing the Atheist route. Alright, we got some more palaces coming up over onto this side. Villagers coming in as well, trying to defend this. There's more walls to come through as well. There was a Gaia Forest that was dropped somewhere over onto this side, as that's pretty much the most important thing for Tunison to actually spend his favor on, such that he can actually afford to build himself his Dryads into the center of the map. Pushing through here makes a huge amount of sense, because the wood situation for Moscow, it's a little bit dire. There's no wood over here. There's no wood over here. There's no wood over here. It's all in the center of the map. So if Tunison can secure the center, then all of a sudden he wins the game right here, right now. As the Axemen charging in onto this side, they're all getting absolutely massacred by these palaces and all the other good stuff on this position. Tunison still holding on nicely. Are we going to see a wonder in this game? The resources are starting to creep up for Moscow. I don't think he's, like, consciously going for it, but the Egyptian wonder only costs 6,750 gold and 5, it doesn't have any food, but 5,000 food. There's a world here where you do drop the 105 favor rain, as I was saying that's a joke, don't do that, but there's a world where you drop that rain and you put everyone onto food, and then you go up to that 5 and you drop the wonder after the rain. That world exists, right? That's not a terrible thing. Is it 5,000 wood for the Gaia trees? I thought it was 2,000. Whatever. I'll get it right at some point. Just trust me. I don't have my tooltips mod on, so I'm like half a human. This is like AI, you know? It's just preventing me from thinking. Nonetheless, Palace coming up for Tunison onto this side as the Axemen coming through. More Migdols coming through for Moscow. And we have Hero Citizens getting promoted here. I like forward Hero Citizens. Look at the armor value change. 54%, 60%. When you turn into a hero, you get that plus 15% armor for each upgrade. Or minus 15% vulnerability for each upgrade. So, copper, bronze, iron. Absolutely insane. Well, not insane. It's just really nice. It's a really nice thing for your guys on the front. Surprised to see no economic guilds getting dropped down on the front either from Tunison, but they might just be getting sniped a little bit too much for him to even bother. It's still worthwhile to be trying it. But anyways, the stalemate continues. Tunison has made some ground in the middle, but he's getting pushed back on all accounts. Citizens on the back here. Well, they're going to do fine. They can just dive into the palace and be fine here as well, but we will see how it's going to go as these destroyers, I'm not going to lie, when people say they think that destroyers are weak, I mean, I don't know. It's only 9 population to siege. When people say destroyers are weak, it's in these situations, right? These are the situations, but that's not what the destroyer's for. Fire Siphon takes these down quite reasonably quickly, I think. Or at least that was my feeling once upon a time. I'll tell you what. There should be, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but there should be a technology that unlocks in the Mythic Age, similar to, actually you already have engineers that unlocks in the Mythic Age, but a second technology after engineers to boost your siege up even more that costs something like 1,500 resources. Because there was this change that happened because siege was too strong, and I think it was too strong. It was taking buildings down a little bit too quickly early on. But I'm looking at this going, you know what? I feel like these buildings could die faster. Was there another rain? Yeah, I don't even care anymore. My guy is clearly an atheist, and look, my guy is clearly an atheist. If I did boost, that's true. If I did boost siege, then you wouldn't see stalemates like this. That's true. But do you want to see stalemates? I guess we want to see it a little bit. I don't know how often you do see these games. Maybe it's perfect. What do you guys think? Yeah, there's still this shift. That's a big shout in the chat. Shifting sands not being used in this game. That seems like a mistake. Shifting sands villages with big fat army right onto one of these situations here. Slap down migdols all over the place, and Bob's your uncle, Jill's your aunt, and you have 3 oracles sitting on top of each other. Oop. Spearmen? In this economy? You have to be kidding me. Nonetheless, look at all the villages. Mosca has dropped down to 50 villages here, and he's no longer training units. What happened? He literally just lost all his... Did he delete them? Hello? What happened? Did he just decide to go AFK? And this happens, right? When you play these intense late games, you can sometimes just... Alright, Mosca. We get it. We get it. You don't like myth units. You're rubbing the salt in the wound here. You say, give me every single rain I possibly can. We get it. He's trying to make up for the fact that he's only got 55 villages with rains. Fine. Fine. Have it your way. This just in. Angry bald man yells at his computer screen about people playing Age of Mythology and not building mythological units. Alright. So, Mosca had a bit of a brain fart. He is now up to a whole bunch of resources to actually be used. And Tunison is continuing his solid gameplay. He's slowly pushing forward, taking position after position that he can possibly take. He's at full pop. He's trying to make the dryads, but he is seemingly out of wood here, as he does drop another what is it called? Gaia's Forest here. He's got a couple more of these left in him. Of course, unlike the infinite rains that Mosca is dropping down, I don't mind the infinite Gaia forests in this situation because he actually needs them to get wood as opposed to just putting more villages onto farms if you need more food. Anyways, how is Mosca going to win this game? How is Tunison going to win this game? Normally, the way to win a late game is to push for corners. Normally. But because we're on key, it seems like the center is actually the most important. Because if we can get in here and lock off all this wood, then all of a sudden, well, Mosca can't build any siege. And that's a big deal. That is a very, very big deal. Nonetheless, Tunison slowly moving forward. I'm going to try and take out the temple or something like that. The Migdol on the back here going to be starting to get targeted down. Picking off these here is obviously going to be very, very nice at the moment. Let's just see the Migdol counts. 14 to 13. Yeah, if there was a lesson here for anybody going, man, I just played a late game and I lost and I didn't know why. Look, build lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of Migdol's fortresses, palaces. And if you get past like the 30-minute mark in a game, you know, just put resources and just build yourself, just build yourself a whole bunch of buildings. This is the way to play this game. This is the way to play this game. Palace going down on the back. Temple in the middle. Still surviving. And Tunison, for now, has actually found himself with no army yet again. So, there was a moment here where it felt like Tunison was supporting everything for a very long time, but he's decided to stop building units for a little bit and allow Moscow to regain some of the land that was once lost. Well, I guess the question here is really going to be, can Moscow break this town center here? Because if he breaks this one, then the trade route doesn't die. It can move. Actually, it's perfectly fine. He just moves the trade route to the bottom town center. In fact, it should probably be going to the bottom town center at the moment. There's all the catapults in the world getting trained out by Moscow. He's still on wood in the center of the map, of which he should not be able to be being on. You see walls coming up all over the place for Moscow. As more towers. Siege plus building. That's all you need. He's got 15 heavy catapult out on the map. Tunison on the flip side, he's got 5 fire siphon. Sometimes more is more, ladies and gentlemen, and the player with the more siege will kill more buildings. That's how it works. Now, Camel Riders coming through for Moscow to support his absurd amounts of heavy catapult, of which quite a few of them have actually been picked off. But Moscow not giving up anytime soon. He had his quick P break. He's back. He's spamming. He's in a good spot. Look at the gold situation. Absolutely dominating. I am surprised to see no mercenary cav coming out, but I mean, to some degree, it's kind of a better idea to just, I don't know, just save the gold and potentially go up to that wonder. He's got himself enough for a Son of Osiris now, though. I can't imagine a Son of Osiris at this point in the game being like super valuable. No, can you? I can't imagine it. I can't imagine the Son of Osiris having any impact at the moment. I guess you just sit on a forward position. I don't even know. Anyway, we'll see what Tunison can do to keep himself going here. And currently, still not really utilizing his Hesperid's trees. How many of these Dryads does he have out at the moment? He's got himself only 7 of 15. Every time he seems to get every Dryad out, it does seem to be looking up for Tunison, and every time he doesn't have them out, it seems to be him losing ground. So more Dryads seems like more winning to me. What an absolute game, though. What an absolute game. Okay, Moscow. Okay, all right, Moscow. That, you've crossed the line, my guy. You better be going for a wonder, or I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset. There better be a wonder coming. Let me tell you. That's like 100 and, what was that? 135 favor. In real speak, what's 135 favor? That's 1,350 resources that he's traded for this one raid. Which makes his villagers gather 1.76 about less than 1 food faster, like 0.992 or whatever it is faster. I don't know what it is. Anyways, the food situation slowly creeping up. Of course, Tunison at no point in this game will ever be able to afford a wonder. But then again, like, even if Mosca does build a wonder, all he's going to do is cast more rains. So it's not even going to matter. Right? You should be able to afford the wonder, actually. Should be cheaper. Should be cheaper than that, because you have sun-dried mud brick. Or just make... I'm a little confused. Anyways, he's almost there. Oh, that is cheaper? Okay, there we go. How many rains does the rain god want? Well, it looks like just enough. He's only making camel riders at the moment. He's got a lot of them. And he does have himself the wonder to come. The only issue with dropping a wonder right now, the only issue is that it not only costs a butt ton of resources, but it also takes away from your income. And you obviously want it on the back. And you can empower it, and it will go up somewhat quickly, I guess. That's a long time to have villagers not gathering. And now Tunison will be a little bit scared because he knows he has to make something happen in the next, what is this, 5 minutes? In the next 5 minutes, more villagers coming in onto this one. There's only 15 villagers gathering food, 29 on wood. So it's how many are actually on this wonder at the moment? 40 villagers on the wonder. That's like half of your economy right now. And the big issue with this is that what Tunison needs to be doing, and I feel like he can during this, is he should be able to just kill Mosca. He should be able to break through all of this. Like, it wouldn't make sense for him to not be able to, because there's just no income. Well, there's the trade route, but there's not enough income to support the trades, rebuilding the buildings, and just continuing this. So he's got to be quick about it. He needs more siege. He's going to be making a whole bunch of destroyers, which might be helpful here. But I think, of course, the destroyers aren't costing wood, so that's somewhat of an advantage actually, because they're able to obviously be built without needing to waste his wood, which he needs to be spending on dryads. But anyways, thank you for the raiding party, Kavoth. Another palace coming up over here for Tunison. As the towers, everything else will start to go down, and Mosca, he is managing to keep himself afloat here in terms of population, but he has lost the pushing power. He has lost the defensive capabilities. Will he be able to get the wonder up? Will it matter? The other thing is, what does the wonder actually do? Sure, you get cheaper god powers. Yippee. You get Son of Osiris's up the wazoo. Yippee. That's not actually the thing about the Wonder Age. The thing about the Wonder Age is myth units. Now, Mosca can build Petsukos, he can build mummies, he can build Wadgets. It doesn't matter. They're all absolutely stonking in the Mythic Age, but he absolutely needs to build them. If he doesn't, then it's not going to matter. You also can get a Titan, that's true. But, yeah, the palace is dying, and Mosca taps out? You're not allowed to tap out here? The wonder's almost finished! What are you doing? No! Mosca! You absolute dog. I am not okay with this. It's literally halfway finished. Angry man Angry bald man slams his desk in disappointment. Well, that's funny. That's gonna. I think everyone's gonna be very upset with that on the old tubers. We're gonna pop this one up on the tubers for the YouTubers because that was a fun game. Oh dear. Well, it is what it is. Apparently, this was at 3 a.m. their time, and he was tired. One last game, they said. One last game. And boy, what a one last game it was. Well, let's have a little look-see at the post-game. You guys love seeing this type of stuff. We'll check out the statistics first. Food. Of course, Moscow's got more food. He cast about 10 gazillion rains. Tunison, of course, he's got the most wood. He cast about 10 gazillion Gaia forests. Moscow and Tunison, look at how close that gold income is. And that is a credit to how impactful having Gaia Lush trade route is compared to Pharaoh trade route. That's something to really take note of. If you haven't worked out that that's a big important factor for the Gaia late game, now you know. Now you know. So you got to make that highway, that Gaia Lush highway, or else. Military units, we got the units killed, very, very close. Of course, it was a wildly close game for the entirety of the game. Obviously, 70 researchers, 143 of the favorite myth units of the Dryads, and 7 mummies. A distinct lack of myth units from one player. Of course, these ones didn't cost any favor, but one player here did not build enough myth units. He did drop 14 god powers as Ra, though, which is insane. And then also we can take a look at, actually there's not really much else here. Resource total resources here, 334,000 for Tunison. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the game, make sure you hit the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next game. Well, there you go. That was a game and a half. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah. You have newfound respect for me and my long ass streams. Thank you. Yeah, streaming be a tough business. It's fun though, especially when you have to play versus people like Kavoth. You don't want to play versus Kavoth. He'll make your hair fall out. Gotta let AOL Iron Maiden know that AOL Iron Maiden. Hang on. This might be the best BBQ outside of Texas. Period. There you go. Let me pop back over to this one because you guys need to understand what's going on here. If you guys don't understand what's going on, just look here. This is the new artwork for the Boit TV stream. Are you all hungry now? I hope you're hungry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Actually, I'm not. I'm not sorry at all. I don't even care. Enjoy watching. It's a absolute. It was a ridiculous. Yeah, I already said it, but there were F-bombs dropped. It was that good. You're having trouble processing? Okay, let me break it down for you. Top corner, right up the top here. Wait, how can I can't show it. The top corner, top right corner, where this is little slices of meat. That's called brisket. And it is fucking delicious. This brisket is like slow cooked on like smokers with like applewood and stuff from like I think it's South of Western Australia. Absolutely delicious. The bottom right corner, the cheesy looking things, that is birria tacos, and we each had one of these. So there's 4 there. There was 4 of us. We each had one of these, and holy shit, I like these will knock your dick off. Obviously this thing on the bottom side to the left is a massive sausage, which was ridiculous as well. And then the thing in the middle left is cornbread, with like maple and just deliciousness. And then there's also pickles and some onion, pickled onion as well, which was awesome. And then there's the sauce for the birria tacos as well. So yeah, that was that was good. Yeah. No. Anyways, that's enough of that. Let's go lose a ranked game. Oh, actually, let's see what's happening for the Triple S, the SSS. I can't see it. Can you guys see it? I've got to zoom in. Let me zoom in on my side. That's what we're going to do. All right, so we got Divine as first. Holy moly. Divine versus Grass. Then we got Keto versus Tunison. And the show match 3 is Jack versus Soup. Now, I have heard that Divine probably not going to be playing, so that changes the order a little bit, but wild. Absolutely wild. Divine is managing to do that. Everyone else, very low level. Divine, very high level. That's how it is. All right, let's go ahead and take that off. What's going on? USA Domination, the tournament? No, it's for the Sat-Fat Set Shenanigans. For the game of Ra vs. Fushi that I uploaded recently, Ra can't make mummies to deal with Tiger Cat because of sages, right? Or do Qinglongs just shred them too fast? Or else I'm not sure. I'm not sure it does go off automatically. Not sure it does. We can try it again. But yeah, you don't want to build mummies versus... You don't want to build mummies versus China. In fact, I think I'm just gonna turn it off. We don't need to see it. We'll just pop it up whenever I feel like it. It's not an issue. I have a button for it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think mummies would help versus the Tiger Cav anyways, because they have such high HP. So I don't think you're getting anywhere with mummies. But you know, you never might. You know, it might be. The Superstar. What's going on, my dude? We're playing on Valley of the Kings against Dust. And I am... Which god am I? Am I Demeter? Fuck. God, I don't want to play Demeter. Why do I get Demeter nowadays? It's like it's one of the gods in the pool. Oh well. Let's see how we go. Good luck, have fun, Mr. Dust. So against Uranus, basically we just hold on for dear life and hope that it works. I'm gonna go for a village center in my base because that's my game plan with Demeter. I don't actually believe in anything else. If I'm being completely honest with Demeter, we're gonna go Pan. We're going to go village center, and then we're going to work it out from there. The only time I'll ever not go village center as Demeter is potentially versus like an Egyptian player, depending on the situation, but I will take the goats. I will have a little wander down the bottom here. I will shoot the gazelle. I will move over here. I think I need about 6 or 7 on food, and then I can just not worry about it, and I'll get up to 400. So I can't remember if it's 6 or if it's 7, but I do need some more goats here, I think is somewhat important, because I do need to get to 15 favor. But I only want to put 1 villager on the favor. So that's important. Without the, there we go. That'll do. That'll help. Okay, fantastic. We'll go 7 and then we'll come over here. I'm going to pop the temple like something like this. So he can attack it, but he's going to be attacking it in range of my town center. And it also protects my base a little bit. And then I can also drop the village center on the other side here and look to wall off the back there a little bit with maybe some houses or something. In fact, I might drop the house here as well already. Up we go. Now, the other thing to be worried about here is if he goes for his own sort of far second town center or a town center as a reaction to my village center, and I have to react to that then. But the good thing is it doesn't matter if I'm a little bit behind chasing his town center, because grabbing a town center with Pan's Pioneers equals 2 villages or whatever. So yeah, not an issue. Bit of a non-issue. I'm going up for Pan. Scouting in. I do want to get myself my Orpheus. This technology or this relic here. I don't actually know if it works on the Dryads, but Dryads are a part of my game plan in this matchup and just in general. So I'm gonna go grab that and pray that it's an assistance. I think I need another villager on wood here. I do have the resources coming in. In hindsight, maybe a 1 more villager and then advance would have been the better call. Unless I grab that. What's this one? Purpose of Horus there is also somewhat important. He is grabbing relics himself though, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in here. But I will try it. No, he's going to go grab that one. Let's see if I can find a different relic to go and grab. Yeah, I don't know where they are. I do. Oh, he's gone Prometheus. That's different. That is different. Okay, well, we're going to get our tech. Some goats here. Let's just check that out. I do want to get myself the Pegasus so I can see what the hell's going on. I don't know if I can afford it just yet. In my house. Okay, he's going for the town center. So what this means is I can basically walk over here and get this town center, or I can walk over here and grab this town center. So I'll actually work towards that. This guy will come over onto this. This guy can come over to here. I don't need that many on this. Okay, we can kill this guy. He's obviously scouted that I'm on the village center, but... Yeah, we're gonna wander over here and take this town center. Even though it's close to him, I'm like kind of fine with this. I am somewhat worried that I'm gonna get hit with a whole bunch of Prometheans, but alas, I think this is the way to go. Okay, over we go. And hopefully we do have an answer if he does have a whole bunch of units to attack us with. It's not the end of the world. I do also need to get myself a house very, very shortly. Then I want to get to the heroic age. Now I don't mind risking it for the biscuit for the heroic age here. But I do need to get to the heroic age. And I want to get a Pegasus out so I can see what's going on. These villagers up here, I want to have them on this position here. What was that? I'm I'm pretty sure I saw the town center. It's not the end of the world.
Λέγε. Τέκτον.
Λέγε. Τέκτον. Θηρευτής. Τέκτον. Θηρευτής. Έτσι προς μεταλλεύς.
Έτοιμοι. Ναι. Μεταλλεύς.
Okay, we're gonna scout, see what he's doing, and
Λέγε. Τέκτον.
worst case scenario here is what? He's spamming units and he's about to come kill me with a whole bunch of Prometheans. He is spamming out, whatchamabucket though, like Valors. So I'm gonna go ahead and imagine he's going for a heroic age with his crazy economy.
Honey.
Πρόσεχε. Ναι.
I'm gonna try and get myself
Έτοιμος. Τέκτον. Λέγε.
somewhat sorted out with
Τέκτον.
walls.
Τέκτον. Θηρευτής.
Πρόσεχε. Μάλιστα. Τέκτον.
Επάνι. Ορθός.
Is there anything behind him? There is a gold mine behind there though. Okay, well, that's interesting. I don't see him building anything, so I think we're good to just go heroic age through this guy. I'm gonna slowly start getting some buildings down. Specifically over on this side, we'll get a barracks. I don't really want to go into hoplites right away, but I guess we can. I'll grab that tech. Should be able to advance here soon.
Έτοιμοι. Λέγε. Ναι. Βρυτόμος.
I want to get my...
Πρόσταγμα.
Πρόσεχε.
Okay, there you go.
Πρόσεχε. Έτοιμο. Θηρευτής. Ναι, μάλιστα. Θηρευτής. Λέγε. Θηρευτής. Πρόσεχε.
So I need to get my upgrades.
Πρόσταγμα. Μάλιστα. Τέκτον.
Now we go everyone onto wood, and I need to spam buildings. I need to get my guys out. Need an extra couple of villages on favor.
Μάλιστα. Λέγει μάλιστα.
Λέγεστο. Βούλομαι.
You know what I should have done there?
Έτοιμος. Μάλιστα. Ναι.
Έστω.
Πρόσεχε.
Λέγε. Ούλαμε.
Λέγε.
Πρόσταγμα. Βούλο. Έσου. Θηρευτής.
Λέγε.
Θηρευτής.
Πρόσεχε.
Should have just done that.
Λέγε. Τέκτον. Έτοιμο. Μάλιστα. Τέκτον.
Μάλιστα.
Wait, which god did he go? Okay. We don't have to worry about...
Τέκτον.
Πρόσεχε. Τέκτον.
Πρόσταγμα. Τέκτον.
Ναι, μάλιστα. Ναι, μάλιστα.
Λέγε.
Honey.
Πρόσταγμα. Θηρευτής.
Λέγε. Τέκτον. Έτοιμοι. Τέκτον.
Ναι, honey.
Λέγε. Πρόσταγμα. Ναι. Μαέστο. Θηρευτής.
Πρόσεχε. Ναι. Έτοιμοι. Μάλιστα. Τέκτον. Πρόσταγμα. Μεταλλεύς.
Βούλομαι.
Έτοιμος. Τέκτον.
Okay.
Πρόσεχε. Πρόσεχε. Βουλ μεταλλεύς. Μεταλλεύς.
Honey. Μάλιστα. Ούλαμε.
Έτοιμοι. Έτοιμα. Μάλ. Μπορώ. Έστω.
Λέγε. Ναι.
Έτοιμος. Λέγε βουφορβός.
Λέγε βούλομαι. Έστω. Μάλιστα. Βουφορβός.
Okay.
Πρόσεχε. Βρυτόμος. Προτέκτον.
Πρόσεχε.
Θρητόμος. Πρόσταγμα θρητόμος. Λέγεστο. Βουφορβός.
Λέγε ναι. Βουφορβός. Βούλον. Βουφορβός.
Έτοιμος. Μάλιστα.
Έτοιμος.
Ορθός, πάνω, βούλον, ισμά, καλός, εισβολή.
Πρόσταγμα.
Πρόσεχε.
Μάλιστα.
Ναι, ασχάνει.
Ναι. Έστεκτο.
Πρόσεχε. Βρυτό. Λέγε. Προς ναι. Βουφορβός.
Πάνω, πόρ, εισμάχιν.
Ναι, εισβολή.
Θρητόμος.
Βρυτό. Μεσέκτον. Πρόσεχε. Βρυτόμος.
Βούλαμε. Ρο. Ναι.
Ορθβάν, πρόσταγ, ορθός.
Πρόσεχε. Μάλιστα.
Λέγε έστω.
I got too many on gold. I don't need this many on gold. I need archery range. I need buildings. I need units. My guy has like completely outplayed me in this game.
Μπάκιν.
Πρόσταγμα.
Ναι. Τέκτο.
Λέια.
Πάνω, λέγε, ορθβούλομαι. Πρόσταγμα,
Λογιούζι. Μάλιστα. Καλώς. Πρόσεχε. Πανί. Εισβολή.
Πρόσεχε. Πρόσταγμα.
Πρόσταγμα.
εισβόρο.
Καλώς. Εισβάκιν.
Έτοιμος. Λέγε θρητόμος. Πρόσεχε.
Βρυτόμος.
Πρόσεχε. Έστω. Εισβολή.
Ισμάχιν, καλός, εισμάχιν.
Ρο. Εισβολή. Καλώς. Εισβολή. Εισβάκιν.
Έτοιμη.
Έτοιμο. Τέκτο. Πρόσταγμα. Μάλιστα.
Πρόσεχε.
Έτοιμος. Πρόσβουλαμε. Πρόσχανή.
Πρόσταγμα,
Λέγε βρυτόμος.
Λέγε τέκτον. Έσμεταλλεύς.
Πρόσεχε. Τέκτον.
Πρόσεχε.
Πρόσταγμα.
Έτοιμος. Τέκτον.
Έτοιμη. Λέγε τέκτον.
Πρόσταγμα.
Πρόσεχε. Λέγε τέκτον.
Τέκτον. Γεωργός. Μαβουρέκτον.
Ναι. Μάλιστα.
Πρόσταγμα.
Πρόσεχε. Ναι. Τέκτον. Έτοιμη. Τέκτον.
Πρόσταγμα. Πανί. Ναι. Εισβάκιν. Ρο.
Πρόσταγμα.
Λέγε τέκτον.
Καλώς.
καλός, εισβολή, πρόσταγμα.
Πρόσεχε.
Βρυτό μεταλλεύς.
Λέγε μεταλλεύς.
Έτοιμη. Ναι. Βούλμα. Εισβολή.
Ορθός. Πάνω, ορθός. Πάνω.
Πρόσεχε. Τέκτον. Μεταλλεύς. Λέγε πρόσταγμα.
Ναι, μάλιστα. Έστω. Τέκτον.
Έτοιμος.
Έτοιμος.
Έτοιμη. Ναι. Τέκτον. Τέκτον.
Πρόστα μεταλλεύς.
Λέγε. Έτοιμος. Πρόσταγμα. Ορθός.
Πρόσεχε. Μάλιστα. Τέκτον.
Ορθός. Πάνω. Καλός. Εισβολή. Χώρο. Καλός.
Λέγε. Πρόσταγμα. Τέκτον. Έτοιμος. Τέκτον. Πρόσεχε. Τέκτον.
Πρόσταγμα.
Μάλιστα.
Εμαρούλομαι.
Έτοιμος.
Λέγε.
Ταπεινός.
Πρόσταγμα. Μάλιστα. Ναι. Μάλιστα. Εισβολή.
Έτοιμο.
Okay.
Πανί.
I need this.
Πρόσεχε.
Πρόστα. Βούλο. Τέκτον. Πρόσεχε. Εσβριτόμος. Έτοιμο. Πρόσταγμα.
Λέγε. Πρόσταγμα.
I don't have any pushing power at the moment without the
Μάλιστα. Μπούλο. Ναι.
Πρόσεχε. Τέκτον. Μεταλλεύς. Μεταλλεύς. Τέκτον. Μεταλλεύς. Τέκτον. Μεταλλεύς.
Λέγε. Τέκτον. Μεταλλεύς. Τέκτον. Μεταλλεύς.
Πανί. Μπούλο. Πανί. Ναι. Ναι. Έστω.
Βούλο. Τέκτον.
Μάλιστα. Έστω.
Πρόσταγμα.
oh, there's a
Ναι. Έστω.
Λέγε ναι.
I thought there was no
Τέκτον.
thing here.
Πανί. Μάλιστα. Ναι. Μάλιστα. Πρόσεχε.
Πρόσεχε.
Πρόσταγμα. Βούλομε. Πρόσταγμα. Εισβολή.
Λέγε. Εισβολή.
Έτοιμο. Τέκτον.
Πρόσεχε. Έτοιμο. Πανί.
Έτοιμη. Εισβολή. Εισβολή. Μεταλλεύς.
Ναι. Έστω. Ναι. Έστω. Πανί. Μάλιστα.
Έστω.
Πανί. Πανί.
Alright. Do I take this town center without going Mythic Age? I think we do.
Μπούλαμε. Ναι. Πανί.
Χώρο. Χώρο. Εισβολή.
Hey! GG! I'm not sure Dust enjoyed my my gameplay. This was pure abuse. Yes, I built Myth Unit. We demoted him. I am the best demeter ever. Nobody can say Demeter sucks anymore. Yeah, I don't know what Icarus abuse is. I only know tree abuse. Tree abuse is all I know. Uranus needs massive buffs. Absolutely. I love the tree. There's nothing better than the tree. See, the way that I use the tree, you see, it's ethical. The way that I use the tree is ethical. The way that everyone else uses the tree, there's no ethics. See, I have ethical tree abuse. I'm glad that I got to win with my tree abuse versus an Uranus player. This made me feel very, very nice. I feel very, very happy about this win. And I am gonna go to sleep tonight, regardless of what happens after this game, being very happy with myself. Look at the trees. Oh, one of these trees actually isn't even on the right stance. What the hell? This tree here doesn't know what it's doing. It wants to get in and actually fight. Doesn't it know? Wait, how much damage did these guys do? 3 trees did 6,596 damage. Let's go. I love it. Talking about more damage. All right, GG. GG. Mr. Dust. I don't. He did. I think he might have resigned because he knew that I was playing at a very high level. All right, let's watch another recorded game, shall we? Or is there a lobby game going on that is worth watching? Let me have a quick look at the old lobbies. We have Beach Party versus Zapata. We have Gabe versus Kaiba. We have Punkstar versus Shu. Let's look at the replays. There might be a nice one in here. Someone was telling me to watch some Magic games, actually. Let's see. Super Rusty Magic. Oh my god, did he change his name? He changed his name. The Magician Man? Is he just Rusty Magic? No. Wait. Where is he? He's disappeared? Did he drop below 1800? Oh, it's now mildly Rusty Magic. I love it. All right, that's fucking funny. Let's take a look at his customs. You gotta know. You gotta see it. Oh, they're all. He hasn't played in 2 days. I can't watch any of his games. All the replays are gone. Someone needs to get out there and download every single one of them. Many players don't know to right-click the tree. That doesn't do anything. Mr. Set _ OP. Right-clicking the tree doesn't do anything. Actually, doesn't it? Hang on. I'm like 95% sure it doesn't, but I could be wrong. I need time for the tree to turn into its thing, but I also need to set it to a different stance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this trigger to attack move the arc. No, the Arcus need to. Hang on. Unit. No. No. Army stance. Army set stance to no attack make. That should work. Now, it might not work, and if it doesn't work, then I don't really know how to test this without another player. So I wander in here, and the tree has without question turned to a tree. Now if the bloody every single time without fail, I get owned by the computer. The computer owns me. You know what? Let's just do this. Okay. So what we're going to do is the tree turns. Oh. You popped my tree. Okay. I don't believe it. You can just right-click my tree. Actually, I kind of knew that already. Let me just make sure that this guy is on passive stance. Oh, he's not on passive stance. That's why. The trigger didn't work. So how can I test this then? How can I test this? I don't even know. I don't even know how to test this because there's no way for this to work, right? Maybe there is enough time here. Hold on. I can swap between player 1 and 2. That takes too much effort. All right. So as I said, Mr. Set OP, right-clicking on the tree does nothing because I broke you. Get wrecked. Get absolutely wrecked. Now you can kill the tree. Get Hero Arcus and you can right-click on the tree and sit outside, but my tree is well and ready to destroy everything at the moment. Yeah, the tree is dying, but so are his Arcus to my Peltast. Why does the tree have so much HP? It's because it's expensive, man. This guy is worth the cost of admission. He's expensive. All right, let's find a game to cast. We have Kavoth and Lordy. That one looks like fun. I don't want to watch Watatsumi Abuse though. We have Kavoth and Killuminati, but we did already watch an Atlantean game. Maybe we can find something with some different gods. We have someone attempting to play as Demeter, but struggling and ending up losing versus the more powerful Gaia. We have Kenzie abusing the Huitzilopochtli god against Punkstar abusing the Set god. That could be fun to watch. We got Lordy and Kavoth going at it. We have the Chinese guy losing very quickly to Kavoth. We have Punkstar and Kaiba going at it with a very nice game. That one looks like fun. Let's watch that one. Punkstar and Kaiba. I'm sure Kaiba sent me a game. Ooh, or we could watch Kavoth abusing the Huitzilopochtli versus Kenzie trying to be an ethical Quetzalcoatl player. More Demeter from Chi Yao. Sorry. I don't think we're going to do it. We did one too many Demeter games today. You know, it's wild. I don't like what they did with Demeter, but I do see the vision. And I think if it was just executed better, I would have really liked it. And I need to approach the criticisms that I make about things from what's the vision basically with how do I explain this? What's the vision with what the devs are trying to do with the god? And ooh, the double Miko opening. Yeah, what's the vision that the devs want to have with the god, and how can my feedback be used to accomplish that vision in a more positive way? I think I was like, when I gave my feedback on Demeter, I think I was very, very negative on some things, and I still believe that those things shouldn't have made it into the game. Specifically, I didn't like the tree, to be honest, at the start. I thought it was a terrible idea. I think it is a terrible idea in terms of certain interactions. Like I think that killing off a pack of villagers with the tree is super toxic. I don't think that's good fun gameplay at all for either player. It's hilarious one or two times, but if I'm trying to make that happen and my opponent is actively trying to stop it, the amount of gratification it takes to stop the tree blowing up their villages versus me blowing up their villages, it's not there. I also don't think it's good for the tree to actually go and hide in a forest, funnily enough, and then luckily blow up an army. I think that's not fun because, one, I'm probably not going to see it happen when it does happen, right? I'll just hear the explosion. I'm like, oh, my tree hit something. What did it hit? Oh, well, I missed the explosion, but I killed off 40 units. Yay, but I missed it. Bugger. So I don't think those two interactions are fun or reasonable. But what I do think is like a very fair way to use the tree, and I think it's obviously showcases the point of the Civ, is using the tree as a defensive foothold to hold an area. And that's the whole purpose of Demeter, right? So I think if the tree was like pushed into that realm, where it's like the tree is in area X, I'm holding this area. If you want into it, you have to put some effort to kill the tree first from range, or you have to send in some units to soak up the tree and then kill the trees in close, right? If you want to push that area, or you got to attack somewhere else. The only other issue that I had with Demeter, well, there's the other big issue I had with Demeter was the walls, and I used them in the last game. I don't like the idea of walls hitting back because it means that I don't have to react to a raid. Like, I've already reacted and I've defended myself. And as soon as the raid comes in, all I do is I bring my villagers that are sitting there to repair said wall. And that actually deals with the raid, which isn't good design. That's not how it should be. It's like your villagers are the things that should be running away from the raid, not being there to prevent it in its entirety. And yeah, anyways. Those are my two things. So if there was two things that I could change, it would be those two. And I would look to make some of the other more weak things in Demeter a little bit stronger to replace them with. I would change that Thorn Wall's tech in a heartbeat. But whatever. Anyways, we got a game here. We got Kyber playing, and Kyber's using my walls! He is a man after my own heart! I couldn't be happier! But you have to wall over here. Quick! Quick! Wall! Quick! Don't wait! Just do it. Okay, here's the other thing. The one thing I think Kyber's missing in this strat is the final gazelles, these two. You should at least herd 2 gazelles under your town center so that you can wander back there and you can eat them. They don't necessarily have to be on the like back side or anything of your base, but yeah, you can very simply just herd those onto your town center and you're going to have hunt and eat it all. We are seeing a little bit of a attack and a repair, and a little bit of Punkstar will be like, hey, I am doing the hyper meta strat and someone's building a wall and my hyper meta strat isn't doing anything. That's literally what he's saying out loud. I can guarantee. Now, of course, you could just take this Miko over here and wander in, bash the Minotaur, and, well, that would be, of course, damage onto the Minotaur, and that would mean that this wall would not be dying, and that's definitely something that Kyber should be doing here. He did wander over here with another Miko as well. There's nothing wrong with, and this is a lot of resources being spent to repair this up. Of course, he did gain a lot of resources by advancing so late, but there's really no... I don't understand why you wouldn't just bring your Miko over here and deal with this. Now, 2 Minotaurs is going to be enough to actually take the wooden gate down. He could also do this on the back of this. Obviously run, put up another wall, and he'll be okay. But yeah, we'll see how it's all going to go on the defense as the Miko is going to go down. The villagers bail out onto the other side. This is absolute devastation for Kyber. And I think this is literally just a misplay on Kyber inside of this strat. Of course, he's probably pretty new to it, not fully understanding all the ramifications of what's actually going on, but he's trying it, which I fucking love. Yeah, if he just brought the Mikos over and he made sure that the Minotaur weren't bashing the walls would never die to 2 heroes. And then all of a sudden, you're getting resources at a very high clip and you're able to chase your opponent going for a town center. The other thing you could do is like wall him in again. That would be funny. Anyways, Minotaurs will try to finish off the stable for just a little bit more value. Punkstar, this strat looks and feels like a recon strat, actually. Recon was doing this. Might be a Pegasus Rush strat. I can't remember. But yeah, the extra Minotaur town center. And he actually also goes for Bull Minotaur. I did see Recon doing this, actually. So this might be the Recon build. And Punkstar might have literally watched Recon doing it and just stole it. And says, great, let me use that. That'll be fun. But for the moment, the defense has happened. The raids coming in for little bits of damage here. And, well... this should have done 0 damage to Kyber. It really should have. But it did quite a bit of damage. It killed off a stable. He lost a Minotaur for a stable, so it's not that big of a deal. But Yeah, a lot of idle time on the villagers to move. Nice snipe on the villager here. But he is behind on villagers now and behind on town centers. So he needs to get this sorted out pretty quickly. There's no real need to go for a crazy all-in here. It's a little bit difficult to get the gold star because there's a gold mine here and a gold mine here, of which Kaiba probably doesn't actually even know about. He hasn't scouted it. So effectively, the only times you really want to go for a crazy all-in with Tsukiyomi is when the map is really, really open. And it's really easy to use your speed to get around the map. But in this situation, he can be up on to this top side. He could even be here, right? And then the attack comes in and he just goes, see ya, I'm over here now. And for you to get over onto this side, you have to go right through the middle of the base, which isn't going to happen. Or you have to swing all the way around here. And then you say, bye-bye, I'm going back over here, etc., etc., etc. But Kaiba is going to go for the Kitsune upgrade. He's brought some units back. He's ready to start healing up and looking for more raids. But this is going to be I think this is going to be a fairly interesting game. I do think that I kind of wish we saw what would have happened here if Kaiba pulled his Miko to defend. If Kaiba pulled his Miko to defend and he didn't loot drop the wall, I would have really been interested in what Kaiba could have done in this game. Because it would prove to me, to some degree, that the later advance early wall strat is a amazing option in the current meta. And the reason I say that is right now the current meta is let me put units in your base as fast as I can, and if I have the stronger units, then I get the early game advantage, and then I can take a town center. That's the meta for gods that can do this. So I'm talking gods like obviously Zeus, maybe even a Loki or an Odin at the moment with the Hersa. Obviously the Aztecs going for the Warrior Priest. Great raid here from Kaiba. Somewhat of an inexcusable raid to happen. I don't know why we don't have walls up already, but of course I'm asking a lot. 10 minutes into the game to have our second gold mine walled up. But still, if you're going to have that many villagers there, may as well just... And then... just may as well put a wall down. But anyways, the Naginata Riders will charge into the main base, and Punkstar needs to get watchtowers. He needs to get units out. Lots and lots of damage to come in. Nice garrison, but doesn't get the final villager and loses one. And these units can literally just run around this base. No problems here. There's also the villagers over here. Why am I on such fast scroll speed? The hoplites will motor on over to this side, and Kaiba continuously looking for villager kills. Of course, he needs to get villager kills. That's like very important, right? Because he doesn't have a second town center. I think he should drop a town center now, though. Oftentimes, you can feel like dropping a town center is sort of bad as the one town center versus two town center player because you haven't done the damage yet. But after that raid on this gold mine, that's town center dropping worthy. You can decide to do that. He is going up to the heroic age though, which you could probably drop the town center and go heroic age, to be fair. But yeah, you should have both happening there. Now the hoplites are out. These Naginata Riders need to bail. And well, if there was this town center up, then of course he could sit there and actually defend it and not worry about much, but because it's... Well, he's going for it. Okay, there you go. He's going Hachimana and Town Center, but he doesn't have the answers to a whole bunch of hoplites charging in here. But then again, the natural inclination versus Japan is to not really want to attack because they have Bushido. So you don't want to take any actual equal fights. You only want to take really hard winning fights, or you want to get yourself to heavy before you actually take any fights versus Japan. It's kind of important. Kind of. Nonetheless, Hachiman about to pop. We also see Apollo coming in from Punkstar, which does show... Oh, what's this villager doing? Does show a very, very high understanding of the matchup, a high level of understanding of this specific matchup. Not overcommitting on the defense, just building the hoplites to defend those Naginata Riders. There's nothing else that can really hurt him in the Classical Age other than Naginata Riders, so you just have to defend those with your hoplites, and then you can happily get to the Heroic Age. Makes a lot of sense. Armor of Achilles is obviously really nice. Walls going up all over the place for Kaiba, which I love. And I guess after the dust settles, there's a pretty stark villager differential here. Of about 12, 13 villagers. That's not ideal. But New Moon onto the armory does come with it. Bronze weapons, bronze mail, as well as some other stuff. So your Underworld coming down right after the New Moon is an absolutely wild decision from Punkstar. He's lost a couple of villagers for it, but I imagine that, well, if Punkstar hangs out here, the army is just going to absolutely melt. So we get some Vill kills for the Underworld, but you know me, that's some low-value Heroic Age God power for Punkstar. Now he's up to plus... I can't do math. 16? Plus 16 villages. But does that even matter? Like, 16 villages... Sure, it matters, but he has to catch up on the armory upgrades. That's going to take time. So, it doesn't... The villager diff doesn't really matter for a little bit. And there's still God power for both players. Swampland plus Restoration. As Kaiba will pop up to the top gold mine. There's other relics on the map. No? Yes? This one's on the map. And those are the Sphinx. What has he got? He got Tusk of Dankang, Dar Scepter, cheaper farms. Always nice. All units move faster. I didn't even notice that. What are they moving at? 6.8 speed! Those guys are so quick. Absolutely insane, no? Absolutely insane. Now, Punkstar will make his way over here. And, well, Kaiba has got an army. Punkstar has got an army. And the only issue with the Punkstar army is it's about to get hard countered by a whole bunch of Yumi horse archers. There's also samurai coming through. I don't think they're super important. It's been something that I've been trying to come to grips with playing Tsukiyomi, but it feels like every time I try to make samurai as Tsukiyomi, it's a mistake. Where I should just be going as hard into Yumi Horse Archer and Naginata Rider first. And if I do need Samurai after that, then I can start thinking about it later. But yeah, going into the Samurai early is generally not the best of ideas in my experience. I love this play from Kaiba. I hope Kaiba wins this game. The way that he's playing this is just chef's kiss. Like, you know when you're playing like, how do I explain? You know when you're playing like a sport when you're a kid, right? And your coach is like telling you to do something. And on the other team, they have this guy, he's like a freak athlete, but he does all the wrong. He's like not doing any of the stuff, right? He's not doing any of the fundamental stuff, right? And you got the one kid on your side, on your team, who's just like, he's a little bit uncoordinated, but he's doing all of the fundamental stuff correct. And you go, man, I want that kid, the kid who's putting the work into playing the game the right way, rather than just abusing their own natural gifts to win the game. That's what I want.
なんです
I love this from Kaiba.
なんだ
Get in there. Get stone walls. Okuninushi, you're hard out here, Mr. Kaiba. It's not even that I see walls and I'm happy, right? It's the way in which Kaiba is walling. It's like he starts in his base. He blocks in all of his resources. He could have played it better, fine, but he's still got that to work out. Then he moves in and he goes and takes the next part of the map. And then he takes the next part of the map. And he's like, if you're going to just sit there, right, and you're going to play that defensive game, no worries. Sit there and play the defensive game. I'll take the map slowly but surely, and that's going to give me the advantage later on in the game. Great swampland here, but Punkstar does still have restoration now. So you got to be careful for another big fight after the swampland is done. But a really nice fight from Kaiba. Punkstar's going to be able to defend here, no problems. But yeah. It's going to be a little bit of pain for just a little bit, but he's going to be able to rebuild and be fine. Now, Kaiba has managed to make these samurai work at the moment, but now would be the time that I would start thinking about moving away from Yumi Horse Archer and Nakanata Rider into adding some samurai. But it's sort of worked for him, so it's fine. But there is Hera on the way for Punkstar, so this will be his way to hit back. There's a huge amount of favor for Kaiba though, and I don't want to like. I do. I want to say if he doesn't go in for my Omaraki here, I don't know what's happening in the world. Omaraki against Zeus might be a little difficult to make work, just on the fact that Zeus has got Bellerophon. Bellerophon can literally jump in, like manually, and then start shooting at the Okuninushi, at the Omaraki, the Okuninushi Omaraki. But with the cliffs and stuff like this, you've got so many defensive places to fly to that I don't see how it could ever be a bad idea for the Okuninushi. But the walls did not end up finishing over here, or maybe they did. I don't know. They have not ended up finishing. And there is a bit of a ways to go here for our main man, Kaiba, to find himself in an advantageous position. He is at 205 pop. He does have himself 3 town centers. He has caught up on villager count. By all intents and purposes, he's in a fairly decent position, even if Punkstar gets this town center and probably get into a little bit of a late game situation here. As we see Medusa and we see Bellerophon. I love the Medusa actually from Punkstar, and this isn't just because I love myth units, but Medusa versus Samurai is something that just makes sense. Samurai, very, very... there aren't that many in here anymore, but Samurai, very, very expensive unit, but dies in one hit versus the Medusa. Now, of course, you do have to micro this. I would literally turn this off auto cast and make sure that the first cast is on a Samurai, then turn it back off. But nonetheless, restoration for a first time comes down and Kaiba pulls back. There goes the Sacred Gate. Here comes the new moon onto the armory. Makes sense. And we are indeed going to see Restless Army, Ivory Netsuke, and a whole lot of on Meraki. So, the big question is going to be, first and foremost, can Kaiba actually control the Onmaraki? Which isn't necessarily simple. And second, are the Onmaraki actually that strong? We use this game to judge the rest of the balancing ever in this Age of Mythology game we call Mythology. In this game we call Age of Mythology. Anyways, Bellerophon going to jump the wall because that's what he does. You know what I reckon? I don't reckon he should be able to jump the wall. I reckon the wall should be taller, and I don't reckon he should be able to jump it. That's my take. What do you guys reckon? Again, this is cool. You think this is okay? It's this bloody 6. Actually, you know what? Just send the cavalry after him. Like, not these guys, but Naginata Riders will absolutely demolish the Bellerophon. Anyways. Yeah, the only units that jump that can't go past walls and stuff is the Aztec units. They don't know how to jump over things. They can only jump forward in a straight line. And that there will be a dead Bellerophon. It looks like he is attempting to get out of this position, and he dies. So well played there to Kaiba. He's still a ways away from getting himself to fully upgraded units. Over onto this side, the Plaguebringer Omaraki does almost go down, and does go down. He gets one little spam off, but he got caught out. Wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention either, though. I think Baihu can't jump over anything without a target. That would be incorrect. I did it yesterday. Yesterday? The day before yesterday? I did it yesterday. What did I do it against? I was playing a game of... I was playing it versus Duo Super Saiyajin. That's right. Nonetheless, double Shogun comes in, another Swampland, and Punkstar will simply just pull away. No, I did it without a target. You are incorrect, Young Oath. I remember distinctly exactly what happened. Bellerophon does end up almost going down there. He pulls it back. There is the angle of going for a Temple of Healing. It's well worth it to heal this guy up with a Temple. Well worth it. As the Plaguebringer Omaraki coming through. They are getting shot at. Still have to be careful here. There's still 168 favor in the bank, and I'm not going to lie, there aren't enough Omaraki for my liking. Please build more. Both players have got a ridiculous amount of resources in the bank, by the way. Like, Kaiba could buy food here and queue up all of the Omaraki he likes. And he will be able to hold this area for a very long time. And while the Omaraki on the back does end up dying. I mean, this is sort of... To be honest, this is sort of what I was saying. If Kaiba's control on the Omaraki isn't immaculate, like isn't very strong, then they will end up dying. And we actually end up seeing a new moon on what seems to be a castle here. It does end up being the castle that gets all those upgrades. It doesn't get the Tenshu upgrade for the castle, though. I don't know if I like that usage of new moon, but he goes for it. Probably would have been better to drop it on the town center and not get fortified town centers, because then you get this technology. In fact, grabbing this technology is really good because it allows us to get our Omaraki out faster. That being said, if you spawn an Omaraki literally right on top of your enemy heroes, they will die. Oh dear. Kaiba, you got this, my friend. Punkstar starts to pull back. I feel like he's got such an overwhelming advantage. I'm not sure why he's pulling back, but sooner or later the champion upgrades are going to be coming through. The Bushido is just about to click here for Kaiba. Now, if you're scared because your opponent's got heroes in their army with the Plaguebringer Omaraki, just drop the special at the front of your army manually. You don't even have to use it, and then you have the wretches to come in and do some stuff. And well, there they go. And that's sort of how it can work. But yeah, don't need them to... there you go. You don't need them to actually do anything. Just kill off the heroes first, and then they can come in. Anyways, nonetheless, I'm digressing here. Punkstar playing a very nice game thus far with all of his Peltast. As now, Kaiba needs to be thinking about ways in which he can make an army composition of... I'm going to flip these guys. It's confusing me again. Kaiba needs to make an army composition of something that beats these Peltast. Why not playing Myrmidon with Zeus? He is building some Myrmidon. They are coming through. Generally, Here's the actual thing with the Myrmidon. DPS wise, it's the best infantry unit in the game by pop, without question. After an infantry unit gets to around 50% hack armor, or a unit gets to around about 50% hack armor, it's better than anything. Okay, that's what divine damage does. It's just better than everything. But in terms of DPS per resource, in terms of DPS, in terms of effective hack HP per resource, in terms of effective pierce HP per resource, it's one of the worst infantry units in the game. So it's just a ridiculously expensive unit, in other words, but incredibly good and incredibly valuable for its population. So yeah, you should be building it if you've got infinite resources. You absolutely should. There's no... I don't believe it's incorrect to build it. But the problem is you normally don't have infinite resources. At the moment, Punkstar, he's got infinite resources, but I mean, so too does Kaiba. This is such a weird game. Such a weird game. Is it worth only once you have stable eco? Yeah, so the way that I see it is if I'm playing with Hera, I'm just gonna get my fortress up like Punkstar is doing, and I'm gonna enjoy my Myrmidons coming out for free. Of course, free is just good, right? Yeah, free is just good. But if I'm playing as Hephaestus, okay, if I'm playing as Artemis, I'm probably not going to build Myrmidon because I don't have access to Myrmidon with Artemis. But if I'm playing with Hephaestus, then I will build Myrmidon because, one, I have an upgrade for them, which makes them even better. And two, I have the Plenty Vault to help me stabilize my economy. Now, if my economy's not stabilized, I'll just build Hoplites or Hephaestus based on what my opponent's building. But if it has stabilized, then yeah, we go into Myrmidon for sure. It is not the same for the Hetairoi, not the same for the Gastrophede. The Hetairoi are just really effective versus archers because they have area of effect damage. They're really, 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 really good. And the Gastrophedes is a strange unit. It's a strange unit. I don't know if I would recommend most players building it. The only players I'd recommend building it are people who really want to sweat hard on the micro. Because the advantage that the Gastrophytorus has is range. So you've got to sweat really hard. But it's only got 3.8 it's only got 3.8 speed. So that makes it less effective. The Mjolnir. Thanks for the prime, my friend. You absolute legend. Yeah, I used to think that the Myrmidon wasn't really worth it, and then I looked at the stats, and then I understood what its actual purpose was, and now I think it's quite good. This is a wild strategy from Kaiba, though. He goes into Heavy Oyumi, and this can feel rubbish as the Zeus player here. Absolutely rubbish to play against, because the Heavy Oyumi do actually counter Hoplite Peltas, which is a composition which the Zeus player basically wants to go blindly into everything, because it's just very, very generalistically good. You've got the Hoplites beat cavalry, Peltas beat archers, and then the Hoplites are generalist enough that they sort of deal with the infantry units, especially with a ball of archers behind them. But the Oyumi, they don't care. Is there a Titan Gate coming up? Did I hear a Titan Gate? Yes, I did. One Titan Gate, please, Punkstar says. On the flip side, Kaiba also says, give me a Titan Gate, but I don't have quite the resources just yet. Now he's grabbing it. It only takes 38 seconds to research this. as Tsukiyomi? That's wild. I've never seen that before. That's so wild. How can the player with birds and walls, the two most OP things in this game, be losing? He's not losing. This is a stalemate. Look, you're asking the absolute correct questions. Kaiba is playing a very, very nice game, and he is losing. It's not fair. Nerf Zeus. Only answer. Who actually wins this game? Well, wild. Absolutely wild. I think Kaiba's given up on the birds, to be honest. No, he's still building them. It's just been some unfortunate bird usage. Not the best of bird usage. Maybe Heliopolis is an idea versus the Oyumi, that's for sure. But that's the yawns. But the Titan is a way, way, way better unit, right? That's the unit you want to use. Does New Moon on the TC get Secrets of the Titans? No. It gets Fortified Town Centers, Masons or Architects, and this technology here. Divine Prefecture. Those are the main techs you want, or those are the main techs you get. And you want them all, right? Like if you go, oh, interesting, Underworld. Oh, spicy. Spicy. If he kills the Titan Gate, it's game over. Take the one Plaguebringer Omaraki versus the world. Can he keep it alive? 55 seconds to finish. No, I don't think he does keep it alive. Nice move from Punkstar. And yeah, Kaiba's gonna resign. Well, that's the end of the game. As you could see, the Plaguebringer Omaraki apparently not as good as Boit said. An unfortunate bird. Does require the micro of what level is this? A micro of higher level than 1800, unfortunately, to make use of the Onmaraki. When someone like Keto Severo Jones Bones uses the Onmaraki, it is lights out. You can't do anything. But the 1800 level F tier myth unit feels bad, man. Yeah, Kaiba, you played so well up until the Onmaraki, and then you played terribly. I'm very upset. When Kavoth using the Qinglong, it's resign. Yeah. I casted that game you played, Recon, of is it Ra versus Fushi on Watering Hole. You should watch it. You should watch the cast. I think it might be edifying. It also might not be. I don't know. You might be hiding all of the proper strats still. You had no right to lose that game. I'm going to play a non-ladder game against a 1500 plus player. Who wants to join me? While I wait for someone to join me, I'm going to grab some water. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Onwards and upwards. One game, please, sir. Who wants to play a video game? Honestly, Tiger Cat plus Sirius plus Qinglong is too OP of a comp anyways. Look, you heard it here first. Recon Recon with the comments that are incredibly accurate. Oh, Balthazar. Sorry, my guy. I boot you. Yeah. That matchup is only that matchup is literally, if I break it down into the absolute simplest form, it is kill the China before the Tiger Cav Qinglong get there. That matchup, actually all of the Egyptian versus China, that's the matchup. Because of that dynamic. So if the Chinese player has figured out how to read every single type of aggressive form of Egyptian and counter it, then it is a 100-0 China matchup, China favored matchup. I don't think that's the case. I do think that the Egyptian player can consistently break the China at the moment. Sobek to kill off the Qinglong makes sense until you realize there's Najat and John Wick to kill off your Betsukos. So Sobek is like out of the question. So you should just ignore Sobek and go Sekhmet and try and keep the Chinese player in the heroic gauge. That's my guess. Because you can use Scarabs, Shifting Sands to hit them. The good thing about I say good thing, the weak part about the Tiger Cav is that it costs so much food. So there is a point in the matchup where basically the China player needs to transition off of their what's the tech called? Off of their vibrant land, bowsaw wood economy into basically 40 farms. And that's a weak spot. That's a really weak spot for the Chinese. Towers don't beat that comp. What are you talking about? Towers just hold the position. If you garrison priests into a Migdol and place your spearmen somewhat close, and then you ungarrison and you try and take out the dragons. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't be more disappointed in you, Moscow. You are now in my I'm disappointed list. I'm disappointed in you. Where are you on this thing? You're not even... You're number 15 on this list. Get off. Cross your name out. Very disappointed in you, Moscow. How could you resign when the wonder is almost finished? I don't care if you've got no units. Like, let the wonder finish and then go to sleep. Like, seriously, it would have taken like literally 2 minutes. Finish the wonder and then go to sleep. You could have resigned after it, but no, you finished half. It's like literally 2 minutes. You don't know how Divine is so high? It's because he farms Nyan Racing Cat. Is that correct? Actually, I could be lying. Yeah, let me have a look. Let's actually have a more deep dive on the old shenanigans here. Let's see what's happening here. Divine has a 66% win rate. He is 26-13. Who's he been playing? He's been beating up Nullus. So there was 2 games versus Nullus. Whoever Sumarai Ray is, he did lose to Sumarai in an undefined game. I don't even know what that means. He beat Sumarai once. He smacked up Tunison, but that's an easy win, right? Like, Tunison not very good at the game, so yeah, that one doesn't count. Yeah, beating up Jack. Holy farming Jack. That there is a farm and a half. Can we please load more matches? Why can't I see more matches? Gerbot. Please. Divine absolutely farming here. Can I not? Please? If I hit the button? See more matches. God damn it. Oh, Sumire is Ben? Is it? Huh? What's happening on this page? I thought Ben was Ben. BQVH is Ben. Sumire isn't Ben. That's a different player. This is Jap. Oh. Oh. You're not allowed to have two accounts in the triple S there, Mr. Ben 10. You should have said something. I'm gonna write a very angry feedback. Ben is wait. Let me go at Ben QVH. This guy has two accounts in the ladder. Very bad boy. All right, there we go. The current win streak elo also benefits volume. Well, then Keto Severo Jones Bones should be at the top by far. Because this guy does nothing but grind. Who's he been beating? Yeah, I mean, can we at least play someone? Okay, at least he plays Matador. Beats Matador. Beats Soup. Beats Mosca. Beats Jack. He loses to Pegasus. I guess I can say that's it's fine. Losing to Pegasus is everyone does that. That's always tough. Actually, that might be an interesting game. I want to see that game. Yeah, and now we can't load more matches. Damn it! I want to load more matches. I'm sorry. I gotta stop. Giving Tunis and shit. He's really, really good at this game. There is still someone quickly corrupt this file? Why? Because you lost with the most broken god in the game right now? Is that what's going on? We're gonna watch Keto Jones Bones' perspective. Is this... Dear God, let's have my BT play. Is this my build? This is 100% going to be my build. He's going to take all these villages, come over and pop them on the boar, and he's going to advance at 3 minutes. I haven't shown this build off. I did this build in pre-access to basically show off that the blood pact on a warrior priest was brutal. Nope, he doesn't. You have to take one villager off now, build a temple. Other villagers comes over to food, you just put everyone on food and you advance ridiculously fast. You can even put the temple forward and then sack the villager into the temple. Why am I giving away my strats? Why? You can put the temple in the middle of the map and you can be in your opponent's base with a blood pact into a Tajipla. Like, literally at 3 minutes. It's the most bonkers, unfair rush I ever made. You can do that with a save temple. Yeah, but no, you can't, because I'm just going to keep on sending my priests in, while yours have to travel across the map. I'm going to be killing you harder. Don't at me. You only build the temple in the middle of the map if the unit you make it slow. No, you're missing the point. Boit. I also have a myth unit in my opponent's base. I have it all. I have a bunny rabbit in my opponent's base. Actually, do I go bunny rabbit there? I guess here I would go for Melina if I did that. I got a snake in my opponent's base. I got scorpions in my opponent's base. I got 2 warrior priests in my opponent's base at 3 minutes. Yeah, Keto is just better than everyone. See, this is the thing that the unfortunate fact of the matter is Keto doesn't play in tournaments. But yeah, if Keto was playing in the tournaments, we'd just say, well, I guess we're just saying who plays for second. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure the Mister paid Keto off to not play in tournaments because he knew that if Keto was playing, it would be lights out for him. We're going pat a cat here. Now we got to build everyone up here. We're a positive community. I'm sick of the people who bring other people down in this community. We got to bring everyone up. Ghetto OP, Recon OP, Tunison, average player but OP. I can't. I'm sorry. Whose bones is he new? It's Keto, Severo Jones, Bones Malone. We can't be misunderstanding this. This is the rank 1 player on the ladder. Wait, you're picking up relics, but you left this one. Do you not like walls? My draft would look complete amateur. Look, this is the thing about Keto though. He's so good that he could basically do a random god draft. No, he could do a random god draft and probably still get like top 4. Okay, that was one of the blood packs of all time. That was yeah, this has been one of the blood packs of all time. Can I offer a word of advice to Huitzilopochtli players? Don't drop Blood Pact unless you can guarantee yourself a villager kill. Now, you did get about 3 favor there, so I've got to give you credit where credit's due. But yeah, don't drop Blood Pact unless you can actually kill a villager. Like, simple as that. Like, if you come in and you're on top of the villager and they haven't run away, then drop Blood Pact. If you're like attacking the villager, then drop Blood Pact and you're going to kill it. But if you drop it before you're on top of the villagers, then you're not going to kill the villager. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they've already ran for the tower, we don't drop Blood Pact. Like if you're like on top, like if I run my guy in here, I don't drop Blood Pact here. I drop Blood Pact here if my warrior priest is in range to start thwomping the commoner. As I give everyone the tricks to playing this stupid god even better. Why do I do this? I should keep this stuff to myself. My relic hunting looks like... What did you get? This is some good relics. When's Scardy going to play Retold? He played Retold at release, right? I'm like 95% sure he played it at release. Like 95% sure. Scardy. Everything's broken on the AOM stats website. Gerbot. Scardy. Nope, I don't see him. I'm fairly sure he played. The only player I want to see is Yoshi. Yeah, Yoshi never played because he didn't have a computer that could play it. That's the actual sad truth about it. I gave Yoshi money playing in tournaments and he wouldn't go and buy a fucking computer to play this game for me. Jerk. Do I want to play Keto? No, I'm scared of playing you. You're too strong for me. You just lightning storm my Phoenix. All I want to do is troll you and you just lightning storm my Phoenix. Keto's getting a new PC. The Keto stream is going to be absolutely wild. I'm very excited for it. Smoke trap. I'd love to get Ikara back on Retold too. Yeah, unfortunately, I think a lot of people had the wrong idea about what I think everyone had their own idea of what they wanted Retold to be. And the sad truth of it is that everyone wasn't going to be happy. Like, Chrono JJ, for example, wanted Age of Mythology Retold to be basically just Legacy, right? And he liked Retold for what it was, like, granted, but he wanted Retold to basically be Legacy, but with improved graphics, improved networking and stuff like that. And there's a fairly large subset of Legacy players that wanted that, but it just wasn't going to make Microsoft money doing that. Can I turn the Bushido on? There you go. And I think that's probably similar for someone like Scotty, someone like Icaro. Yeah. That's such a smart usage of Solar Shield if this is what's going on. You basically trade like 10 favor for 11 favor, but your favor is a little bit cheaper as we're probably similar at this point in the game, but still. You picked the wrong team to make the game, maybe. Did he lose? Did he just lose one samurai to that Purge? Purge, buff Purge. Okay. I think Keto may. Oh no, he didn't. I thought maybe he didn't use the. Anyways, told you this game was a skill issue. Yeah, I think you're getting very. Nah, this is balanced. Nerf Amaterasu, buff Huitzilopochtli. Purge is bad. Slow units avoid it. I think that they don't. I don't think slow units can avoid it if they are in the direct center of the Purge. Like if all of the units are like in the ball, like in the middle circle, and you use Purge, then they can't avoid it. But if they're on the like towards the outside, then they can get out of there. Also, you can. Yeah, you can just snare them as well. Lullaby and Purge don't work together, Gavoth. If you tried it, you'd know that. But luckily you said it. Now I can tell you that it doesn't work. Now you don't need to try it. That being said, Lullaby is an incredibly strong god power, which I've yet to see too many people really understanding. Mosca showed us all that solar protection counters Purge. Yes. 1 unit. Protected 1 unit. The rest died. Lullaby is for Tezcat Lapoka. Yeah. So Lullaby for Tezcat Lapoka and for Wits. No, not Wits. Quetzalcoatl. I'm gonna read something that I wrote the other day because I still think this is true, and maybe someone can tell me how wrong I am. But this is something I wrote the other day. A little game plan for Aztec versus Norse. Now, if you've got Melina, you don't really have a whole lot to worry about. You can just go right into are they called Tequila archers? Keep on forgetting. There's what are they called? That's Tlaumani and Tequila archers. Okay. So you go, if you have Melina or Malinal, whatever it is, Malinal Court, I can't remember. You go for the Scorpion, Warrior Priest, Archer opening, and then later you mix in Spearman if you need to, right? Because the Scorpion are actually a counter cavalry unit, believe it or not, in the early stage of the game. Of course, there's going to be Hersa out versus Norse, but you've got Warrior Priests to tank, and you've got your Archers to kill, and the Archers are moving fast enough that the Hersa can't beat them. Nonetheless, that's your opening, and then you're effectively looking for the Archers to control the map for you, because at a certain point, yeah, the Norse is not going to be able to kill that army. But if you're going with the other option, you don't really want to go Patacat unless a Patacat. But you can make it work, but you have to use the tree offensively rather than as a food source. You use it as a healing source. Anyways, neither here nor there. You use the lullaby. You basically open the same way but you don't have the scorpions, so you're a little bit slower early on. But you do have access to the laser turret. So you're basically going laser turrets, archers, warrior priest to open up with one warrior priest on the temple to slowly get yourself the favor for more turrets. And then you can use that laser turret to... What is that sacrifice? Holy sacrifice! God, I hate that. Please tell me you dropped the... Please tell me you did the thing. Please tell me you did the thing. Please tell me. Please tell me. I'm watching chat. I see Keto's name. How many times do I have to say it? How many? If you want a second cast of a heroic age or a classical age god power, as the Aztecs, sacrifice 3 fucking turkeys into the fucking Great Temple, and now we only have to sack 5 villages and we get another cast of our heroic age god power. God damn it. So upset. I'm very upset with you, Keto. Alright, Purge comes down, well, he does get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. I like that Keto is trying to use the Obsidian Butterfly in the army. You do want to jump in, use the ability, and then actually run away. It's kind of useless when it doesn't have the special ability. Keto sucks. Oh, he's actually quite good at the game, but in this game he does not deserve the affix, the suffix. Does not deserve the suffix Malone, that's for sure. Purge does have a resource cap. Do you want to know which unit? Okay, let me tell you which unit to cast it on. Hold on, I'll tell you. Give me a second. Compared the Samurai and the Naginata Rider, right? So the Samurai costs 45 per pop. And the Naginata Rider costs 38.3 per pop. So it's better to use the Purge on the Samurai than it is on the Naginata Rider. There you go. Big brain. Ask and I shall tell you. At some point, I'm going to share this this spreadsheet. It's pretty goated. I have already shared it, but share it properly. Keto learned his lesson this game. Build more obsidian butterflies. Now run with the obsidian butterflies. Where's the Tejipla incarnate? Oh, we're not in the Mythic Age. That's where it is. You applied it versus a Moscow ass next game? That's nice. But really, this is just skill diff because Pegasus is just on another level. Like, and there's nothing wrong with losing to Pegasus because he's just so fucking good at the game. Do you know what I mean? It's just the right way to approach this. I think that's a way better way than anything else. If Satcat can beat Pegasus, anyone can. All right, let's watch that game. Satfat versus Pegasus Rush. Like seriously, this website is broken for some reason. Well, why? What is going on? Satfat. Leaderboard. Satfat. Why is it so hard to find you? You don't exist. What the hell? I can't find you, Satfat. Where did you go? I want to find your bloody profile. Sat. Hey, you're not on this one. All right, are you in the next one? No. The next one? No. What the hell? I don't believe this. I don't believe this for a second. Hashtag player satfat. Oh, it's saturated? It's hard to know the... Wait, I still can't find you. You don't exist. I am not searching at SSS. Saturated. Let's try that. Saturated. I found it. For some reason, it's just not working. The search feature. It's not working. Okay, so... I see you dominating Nyan Racing Cat. That's some good shit there. I don't see the Pegasus game. This must have been quite a while ago. Wait, can I do this? Search opponent Pegasus. Fuck yeah. No results. No results. Pegasus. There it is. Okay, now we filter. You guys have played 14 games. All right. I found the game that Satfat won against Pegasus. It was 3 months ago. It was 3 months ago. We need to find a new game of Satfat beating Pegasus. God damn it. God damn it, Satfat. What the hell? Can we find a here we go. We'll watch Keto. He pulling out his new WoW. Pegasus Rush is always in a constant state of rust. Now, Magic is now mildly rusty, but I'd still say that Pegasus is like basically full rust. So we're still yet to see Pegasus's final form, which is great. Is this the French streamer that plays the game really zoomed out? Yes, that's me. I'm French. Bonjour. Buongiorno. Is that Italian? I think that's Italian. Comme ci, comme ça. Golami. Buongiorno. How do you pronounce that again? Gorlami. Hang on. I gotta find that scene. It's too funny. Hang on. We gotta listen to that scene. It's Inglorious Bastards, right? I gotta find it. Inglorious Bastards. Brad Pitt. Gorlami scene. Come on. This is the one. Hang on. We're gonna watch this.
Ich befürchte, dass keiner von Ihnen ein einziges Wort Deutsch spricht. Es sind Freunde aus Italien. Dies hier ist der hervorragende Sensationsdarsteller Enzo Gorlami.
Enzo Gorlami.
Ein sehr talentierter Kameramann Antonio Margheriti und Antonios Kameraassistent Dominique De Cocco. Signori, questo è un vecchio amico mio, Colonnello Hans Landa della SS.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Un piacere. Gli amici della vedetta ammirata da tutti noi, questa gemma propria della nostra cultura, saranno naturalmente accolti sotto la mia protezione per la durata del loro soggiorno.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Gorlomi? Lo pronuncio correttamente?
Sì, corretto.
Sì, corretto.
Gorlomi? Per cortesia, me lo ripeti ancora.
Gorlami.
Gorlami.
Scusi, con me?
Gorlami.
Ancora una volta.
He's taking the piss. So
Gorlami.
E come si chiama lei?
Antonio Margareti.
Ancora?
Margareti.
Un'altra volta, ma adesso vorrei proprio sentire la musica delle parole.
Margareti.
Margheriti. E lei?
Dominic De Coco.
Come?
Dominic De Coco.
Bravo, bravo.
he's the only one. The reason he says bravo is because he's the only one that actually sounds like an Italian. That's why he says bravo, because he's like,
Ich glaube, meine Kamerafreunde müssen ihre Plätze
it's just
finden.
too good.
Lasciatemi vedere I vostri biglietti. Ich glaube für den Staff.
All right, that's enough of that. Anyways, back to the game. How can Keto be in Twitch chat and in the game at the same time? That guy doesn't speak any Italian. It's too good. Yeah, we do have to. I gotta watch Inglourious Basterds again. That's such a good movie. Such a good movie. All right. So, seeing as Keto was in chat, you got gold mine here and over on this side. So you got the double gold mine spawn. Don't get screwed like me. Alrighty. We got a Juan move from Keto, which is obviously the correct move, even though everyone goes for how to. Like plebs, Keto knows what he's actually doing, and he's picking the correct minor guard. The reason for this specific minor guard is that you want to be getting this technology, but not necessarily right away. Sorry, we're not going to be doing an American accent. We might do the Gorlami. Sorry. You get this tech later on, but before you want to take a massive fight. Now, of course, the Norse player might force it. If they do, that's generally bad for the Norse player, so it's fine. But we don't go for a talent center here because that's generally bad. But it is watering hole, but it's generally bad to do this. Generally. Anyways, yeah, we basically grab this tech just before we want to force a fight, not when we get forced to fight onto. That's the idea. So you have to have that thought in your brain to be like, okay, we're going to stop training units, we're going to grab this tech, and then we're going to go fight. It only takes 40 seconds to train. Research, it's only costing 125 food, 125 gold. Very, very simple. I still think Choco Nu should be in the classical age and Fire Archer in the heroic. Here's the thing with the Chuko Nu. And maybe some people understand this, maybe some people don't. The Chuko Nu is unironically the best archer in the game when not microed. If you don't need to micro, for example, your opponent doesn't have, say, counter archers, right? And I'm speaking about a very specific civilization here, as you can tell. Done. Thank you so much for the subscription, my friend. A very, very specific civilization. The Chuko Nu's value is insane because there's no reason to need to micro it. What's that civilization? Come on, guys. Pay attention. There's an ad starting, so let's snooze that so you can answer. Which... No, you don't understand what I mean by micro in this case. The Chuko Nu's weakness is the fact that it has 3.8 speed, and I think it's only got 16 range. Is that correct? I don't have the fucking mod on. Anyways, it's only got so much range, right? So the only civ of which doesn't have a micro advantage over the Chuko Nu is Norse. It's the only civ. So against Norse, you should be building the Chuko Nu. The only problem is that the Fire Archer is so fucking good versus Norse that you still don't need it. But if you end up getting there, you really should make the Chuko Nu over the Fire Archer. Against Greek, you get obviously destroyed by Peltast. Against Egyptian, you get obviously destroyed by Slinger and Chariot Archer. So the Chariot Archer actually does less damage than the Chuko Nu, but because it's got more speed and more range, it has effectively infinite survivability versus the Chuko Nu. So it's a useless unit against the Chariot Archer, so you shouldn't build it. And it's obviously fine versus other infantry units, but you're not building a generalist archer to beat infantry units. You're going to build a counter infantry unit to beat infantry. You build the generalist archer unit to basically kill infantry and archers. If that makes sense. Obviously, it's better against cavalry as well, but you're not building an archer unit to kill off cavalry. If it does some damage versus cavalry, happy days. But anyways, we move on to, we go over Norse, we go over to Atlanteans. You don't build this unit versus Atlantean because Arcus outrange it and outspeed it. So they outspace it. The Terma will obviously kill it and outspace it past, I think it's heavy. Maybe it's heavy or champion. Either way, I think it's at heavy, that it's at least at 16 range. So you're equal on range, but you have the speed and you're a counter archer unit. Anyways, you kill off that. So there's that one there. So it doesn't work against Atlantean. Against Japan, Chuko Nu versus Yumi Horse Archer is perfectly valid to build. Perfectly valid. Works versus the Yumi Horse Archer. So if you're in a situation where your opponent is building Yumi Horse Archer and X, then you're good. But the Yumi Archer, because it has more speed and more range, it doesn't... The Yumi Archer beats the Chuko Nu. Of course, you have Javelineers there as well, but you don't want to build Javelins, right? If we're looking to build a unit that we're not microing, right? You know what I mean? And then you've got the next one is, you said Japan? Aztecs. Aztecs have got Eagle Warriors, so they will kill the Chuko Nu. There's no point. So, yeah, against China, they've got Javelineers, so there's no point. The Chuko Nu does beat the Fire Archer, though. So if there's no Javelineers and you have Chuko Nu out, fine, I guess. But, like, why would you make that risk? Plus, there's also a butt ton of units that kill it from China. So in the end, the only thing you can really build the Chuko Nu into is Norse. And again, you have Fire Archer against Norse. So, I mean, what are we really trying to build the Chuko Nu for? So it's just this really shitty unit that is in a really shitty place, and there's not really anything they can do to fix it because they gave one too many archers to China. So yeah. What they should do... Okay, hear me out on this. This is what they should do. Hang on, I'm thinking. Yeah, I got it. No, I don't. All right. The White Horse Cavalry moves into the machine workshop and is now a counter infantry unit. Counter infantry cavalry unit. No, that doesn't work. Fuck. God damn it. Counter infantry. No, it does work. No, it does work. So the White Horse Cavalry moves into the machine workshop, replaces the fire archer, counter infantry unit. The Dao Swordsman. No, it can just stay there. That's all that needs to happen. And you just get rid of this. You scribble this out. No, the Dao Swordsman goes into the castle and becomes an elite generalist unit. So there's only 3 units to build in the classical age for China. This guy goes into the castle and is now a generalist unit. Can go up in speed and some extra stats, right? And just be a castle unit. And then the Chuko Nu gets a little bit more love. Perfect. I solved it. Now there's not a dead unit in the roster. Oh, or just delete the Chuko Nu. That's also true, but now we've got a machine workshop that doesn't unlock anything in the heroic age, and we've also got a military camp that doesn't unlock anything in the heroic age. So that's a kind of feels bad type moment there. Delete Addy while you're at it. Now, I genuinely reckon that there is a world where inside of what has been designed for China is a very, very fun civ, but it's just got the wrong value set. That's what I reckon. Alright, so Keto has literally rushed the Mythic Age, as is what he does. He is a filthy, filthy Chinese abuser. Young Oath agrees. Thanks, man. Make Kuafu unlock at the heroic age? Nah. That doesn't sound like fun. Chuko Nu could have a niche use as a hero killer if you spam myth units. You can't spam myth units as China. That is a absolute fact of China. Myth unit spammage is not a thing because you have to make Kwafu. If you don't make Kwafu, your economy is going to be balls up. Sorry, I'm sort of lying. We do see Chuko Nu coming out from Keto, so he's actually listened to me saying this, and he's going to try building Chuko Nu versus the Norse player, and it's going to work because there's not a great way to deal with these guys. But he could just be building Fire Archer, and it's also fine. What was I going to say? Yeah, you can build Myth Unit as China, but it has to be in the classical age. Right? That's the only real option. The other, maybe you can go for a fast heroic for Tao Tie. Fast heroic Tao Tie and Chuko Nu. That's expensive. That's an expensive unit compared to other archers. That feels real expensive. Hang on, let me have a quick look. Chuko Nu per pop is 48.3. 3, which is one of the most expensive archers. Only archers that are more expensive than that are the Caraballister and the Amazon Archer. So, yeah, funnily enough, the Norse player doesn't really have an answer for the Chuko Nu. So, he also doesn't have an answer for the fire. Well, he kind of has an answer for... No, he doesn't have an answer for the fire archer either. We'll see what Beach Party can come up with. He is making Jarls, which you would expect to be quite good versus the Chuko Nu. That being said, there are obviously Tiger Cavalry with 0 upgrades at the moment. So once they get upgraded, those Jarls won't feel so good. I do like that this is the unit comp here. It seems like a very, very, very powerful unit comp versus Norse. Oof! Li Jing synergy as well for the old Chuko Nu. The only issue here is how do you micro these Chuko Nu back? If you don't win the fight, or if you don't hold the front line, you have to just sit here and take it. Of course, you can just run. Oh, he vanishes. There you go. Keep the units alive. Not a terrible idea. But the Thor player now has got 4 town centers. That's the only issue. And fortified town centers. Wow. And butt tons of resources. Resources up the wazoo. That's the Qinglong. Now I'm going to come out. Pop Scribble, why do you hate China so much? A lot of people have China PTSD. That's kind of true. It was released on the strong side. My God, he goes, Jesus, what is that? He just has no resources. I don't really know why he has no resources, but he just has none. He's missing irrigation, but that shouldn't be the difference between him not being able to support a 190 population army and his opponent being able to basically support 260. Stop wasting money on the most expensive archer. That's probably true. Especially when your opponent is building Jarls. Not really a unit here that you're trying to counter with the Chuko Nu, is there? You're just trying to generalist your way through it. And it doesn't really work. And he didn't go Nu Bar either. Which is another issue. Fortified town centers will help. Delete everything but Demeter. Beach Party is in a absolutely dominating position. Of course, Keto is not even playing on his Bones account. Yeah, so he's not even trying to abuse at the moment. If Thor built Frost Giants here, it would be over. Oh yeah. Like without question. I don't, like, I was saying this before in the Age of Empires Discord. The Norse players and not building myth units makes no sense to me. They're literally, half of the cost for you is free. Like, look at this unit. If you were to look at a unit that costs 200 gold and gives you 600 HP with 55% hack armor, 70% pierce armor, 36 hack, well, it's 18 DPS, and 15 crush DPS, you'd go, fucking give me that unit, even without the special ability. Never underestimate a Norse player's ability to throw. That's true. That is, you got to write that on a, I need to write that on a t-shirt. I got to write that on a t-shirt. Keto not doing the no, that's only meta versus Egyptian. Versus Norse,
Tilbúin.
it's also kind of meta because the
Tilbúin.
the goatee die pretty quickly too. Anyways. Oh, one Qinglong. Okay, Keto isn't even trying here. What is it with people and not trying with their dragons anymore? Do they feel bad? I feel like Keto feels bad about using the Qinglong. Beach party! Just dominating the Keto man. Actually, never mind. The axe carts are coming in. He's like, I want to kill this town center. Kill the town center. Frost? Yeah? Why not frost this? Keep the town center alive. Get the resources back. Well, town center goes down, and somehow, some way, this game has flipped into Keto's army never dying. And Beach Party, who seem to have infinite resources, no longer having any resources. I don't understand this. I don't understand this game in the slightest. Of course, he stopped building the Chuko Nu and he started winning, so that's funny. I like how hard Beach Party is trying to imagine Forest Fire. Probably could have dropped it here, to be honest. And there's a lot of favor going up. Actually, we'll take a look at the favor graph after the game, and we'll see if it is indeed unfair compared to the free favor that China gets, because both players are getting free. It's just that one player is actually spending their favor and the other player isn't. He's making Valkyries for some reason. I'm not sure what the Valkyries are for. We're going to speed this one up because I don't believe that Beach Party is going to be able to kill the Keto army anymore. And he does decide to tap out. And we look at the post game, and we look at the timeline, and we look at the favor. No, and we look at the favor. And it is exactly equal. As all things should be. So yeah. What do you want to see in the new patch? Oh, you're asking Kavoth. I want to give you my... I'll give you my patch desires. Hang on, let me think about it. Okay. I'm going to approach this by gods that I want nerfed and gods that I want buffed and not give any super specific details. This god, nerfed. I don't know if I want Loki buffed, to be honest, but if I had to say a Norse god that I wanted to have changes to, I'd say Loki buffed. Maybe Odin buffed. I don't know. I would like Isis nerfed. I would like Set. I wouldn't... maybe slightly... Nah, I think Set's in a fine spot. Isis a very specific nerf, but I'm not going to say what that is because I said I wasn't. I want reworks for Demeter. I don't want any nerfs. If there is anything that happens to Demeter that is a nerf, I will scream in outrage. Unless there comes back with it an equal buff somewhere else. That god's fine. That god's fine. That god's fine. I just want reworks for China. I want reworks for the Quafu. I'm going to keep on saying I want reworks for the Quafu until Quafu costs 0 favor. I want a nerf for Susanol. I want a nerf for Witzel Botchley. I want bug fixes for this god. I want bug fixes for this god. I want a quality of life fix on Quetzalcoatl. Is there anything else that I want actual buffs on? I think I want a buff for Ra, to be completely honest. Maybe a buff for Odin, maybe a buff for Loki. A nerf there. I think that's about it. I think I want a nerf for Hades, to be honest. Not necessarily because Hades is broken or anything, just because I feel like too many people play Hades, and I'd rather nerf the god and then have those players start picking different gods to play. Yeah, Persephone needs bug, like, quality of life and definite buffs. There's nothing good in this god. This is decent, but this is terrible, this is terrible, this is terrible. That's terrible. So I go this god and I get a 250 resource, 30 favor technology. Sacred Land is busted? Is it? Hang on. Maybe I don't even understand what it does. Apparently I'm tripping. I've tripped before. Let me have a look. Let's see how much of a difference it actually ends up making. This is way too confusing with all the different names. It will be Dimitri. Oh, no, that has to be... Oh, it can both be Dimitri, I guess. Dimitri. Can both be in the Mythic Age with Persephone. And then I need the... What's the tech called? Sacred Land? Sacred something? Player... set text status, player 2. I think that's what it's called.
Πρόσταγμα. Έτοιμος. Λέγε. Έτοιμος. Πρόσταγμα. Έτοιμος.
Well, it gave me a win by 1 hoplite. My Mythic Age tech with 4 farms. What if I have like a billion farms on an area? You just like spread farms literally everywhere. Hang on. How does that work? I am interested. Apparently this is a busted tech. Super says it's busted. We gotta check. Let's see if I've got farms like literally everywhere. terribly placed and my opponent tries to fight me on them, surely they all just heal me. And then I never take any damage.
Πρόσταγμα έτοιμο.
This is not working how I thought it would. I am disappointed with the amount of healing that I'm getting. And my day is ruined. Right, that's enough of that. Oh, I was getting trolled. Well, I fell for it. You have the tick of approval next to your name. How am I supposed to not believe the guy with the tick was next to his name? How? All right. I'm getting quite tired. I think that's going to be me done for today. I know I didn't stream for very long today, but I think that's me done. Appreciate everyone for hanging out with me. Before I go, I'll just show this off. Look at how good my spreadsheet looks. You guys wish you had a spreadsheet this cool. Look at all my spreadsheet data. Look at it all. Look at all the data that I've got. You guys don't have this data. I have this data. Look at it all. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, I think other people have better data. Oh, show SSS. There you go. Punkstar is streaming. I'm going to send you guys over to him. So right now actually we'll go on to the actual website. This makes more sense. Let's go here. So there's currently 2 days and 2 days, 5 hours, 3 minutes remaining on the ladder. There is a tiny difference between, actually a huge difference between grass and divine at the moment. It's anyone's game. All you got to do is get out there and just destroy everyone, and then you will be on the top of the ladder. Overtaking divine, very, very simple. Just come and farm. Just farm this guy. This guy is the easiest to farm in the top 10. Just kidding. Love you, Jack. But this guy might be the easiest to farm as well. So just whenever you see these guys searching, just go and play them. Like any of these guys, just go play them. Yeah, but I might be on tomorrow. I might not. I'm not really sure what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm pretty busy tomorrow, so I'm going to be knackered. I might try and stay up for another hour and a bit just in case. I don't really want to, but just in case the patch comes out, I'll do a patch review for YouTube. But love you guys. You're all the best. I have got an announcement that I have an announcement.